today for a real baseball player. They signed Wandy Peralta, former Yankee reliever, to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal with opt-outs for the next 3 seasons. And moving over to the Aztecs, they lost last night in Fort Collins versus Colorado State. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Utah State at home this Saturday. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all-electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's...
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 1, Jon and Jim. I was about to say Jon of Jim.
You're out of it. Here's the deal.
Full disclosure, I wouldn't do this, but Jim is the worst.
Did you go to the dentist today?
No, if Jim knows something, he would never keep it from anyone, including the audience. The truth is, when you do a show like this, you should never complain about something going on in your life, because our listeners, Jim's oh, my tooth hurts, or I've been sneezing. Yes. These people have real jobs. And we're sitting here talking for 2 hours a day like anyone cares your tooth hurts. So anyway, last night, Brent, as you know, we do this game, and the game ends not late. I mean, we were off the air at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it was a little bit of burning the candles at both ends. Maybe I shouldn't have done a YouTube wrap-up show. I wasn't feeling 100%, but whatever. I did one until 10 p.m. I was home at 10:30, which is not late, obviously. And then, you're kind of wired because you just watched the game and Aztecs didn't win, and I just couldn't sleep. I lied down, and Jones was coughing until 2 a.m. He was asleep, but just coughing. So you're going to end up dying because everyone in my household is sick, and you're basically in my household.
Great.
But so eventually I passed out at 2:30, but then my son's up at 6. I mean, I slept for 3 hours. Again, nobody really cares. I never would have brought it up if not for Jim being oh my gosh, Jon is tired.
I didn't say anything, actually.
Yes, you did.
I said it off air.
I said hour 1 of Jon of Jim, and you're hold on.
No, I said, here we go.
Exactly.
And
you were
I didn't say anything. It was all you, buddy.
It was all me. Okay, here's the deal. The lead... We'll talk about the Aztecs, obviously, last night. There's a lot to get into. Jeff Smith, Mesa Foundation, cool announcement today. Blenders and Mesa working together on sunglasses this March, which I think is really cool from a collective perspective. Mr. Colorado himself over here.
Did you,
Jim Russell?
Did you pick up any?
Yes, I did. I picked them up in my hands.
No, I meant pick them up as in you own a pair of them.
They're not available yet, but they will be in March. They were doing a photo shoot. So Jeff Smith from Mesa Foundation will join us coming up at 4:30. But so, like you said in the update, the Padres did something which I don't think is setting the baseball world on fire. Nice pickup, left-handed veteran reliever.
It's not leading Sports Center right now?
I don't think so. I even went to ESPN.com. I didn't see it anywhere. But the lead has got to be what Kevin Acee told Jack and Marty and Jonathan earlier today. We have the sound. Kevin on the midday show, Darren Smith show. He's back Monday. By the way, the other lead is Coach is in tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, right here.
Yeah, we can talk about it now.
We can talk about it.
Coach John Quintera, he's going to be taking over Thursday and Friday from 12 to 3 while Darren's gone. So if you've been missing Coach on the radio, tomorrow before our show, you get to hear him.
And is it John and John coming up come Monday? If there's some couple of successful shows.
Oh, you want to? That's not. No, maybe we can do John and Jim still.
Yeah.
But, just John Quintera and
I don't like that.
Jim Russell. I have worked with Coach before. So
you have.
We have a rapport.
Congratulations. So. Okay. Anyway, Kevin Acee earlier today dropped this on Tommy Pham's future. Take a listen.
Any potential free agent outfielders that would make some sense? There's a couple of former Padres that are out there, whether it's Profar or AJ Preller favorite guy, Tommy Pham.
I think Tommy Pham makes a lot of sense. It's just what is his playoffs helped him. But there's, Tommy's lot in life is basically to wait till spring training and sign the 1-year or 2-year deal. And, he generally gets more than what the Padres probably are willing to pay for an outfielder. And so maybe not. I know that Tommy would love to come back. I know that AJ Preller loves him. He really does. I know the guys in the clubhouse really like him. I think Tommy Pham is someone that perennially, actually, for the last couple of years, the Padres have kept an eye on Tommy Pham's market, and that they are now. It's not going to be. Look, I think there's a fairly good chance Jose Azocar is playing the outfield fairly regularly.
That's also a pretty interesting note that he snuck in there at the end about a Zokar.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
I definitely did not hear that. It
Right.
was something that also raised my eyebrows.
Right, he's the one that's actually here. Where
Yes.
Pham is more the maybe he wants to be here.
Yeah, he currently is on the Padres active roster.
Right.
And it's likely that we'll see a lot of Jose Azocar this season, for better or for worse. But the main thing there is, and like I said in the fusion with Jack, we've known that there is this, relationship with Preller and Tommy, and how much the Padres and Preller like Tommy Pham.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work here the first time around. There were a lot of things that happened that did not go right. The incident in Chicago, 2020, it was a tough year for him because he got COVID. So he didn't really play much. And the following year, he was recovering from a major injury. So I think that had to play a factor in his down year and his lack of, performance with the Padres. But if you look at what he's done the last couple of years, with New York last year and then going to Arizona, helping them get to a World Series, if you get a healthy version of Tommy Pham and we're not dealing with, the COVID year and then him coming off of a major back injury, sign me up right now.
There's a big but.
But
it's the word if.
Yeah.
Here's the deal with Pham. I think he is I think he's misunderstood. I was not enamored with him in San Diego. I do understand he's been on a lot of winning teams. He's well respected in the clubhouse. I will absolutely give him that.
Wasn't he with Mike Schilt while they were? No, he was not.
They've got a very good relationship.
My question was, when did he play for St. Louis? And was Mike Schilt the manager
he was in St. Louis as recently as 2018, which means he played for Schilt? We're just question marking that. Does someone know? Did he play for Schilt? 70470, start with team, or put it in the chat. He must have.
I'm pretty sure
he must have.
Did.
But they have to have a relationship because he was in the organization all those years.
Yeah. So he's had to have seen. Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. But here's the issue, Jim. And this is like the dirty little secret. It wasn't just a San Diego time where he wasn't great. Now, I'll give you some of the injuries. I'll give it all to you. That's fine. But then how do we explain 2022 when his OPS was under 700? And yes, Arizona made their run after the trade, and Pham deserves credit for that. And it was a really good pickup. And this guy's batting like cleanup or batting third in the World Series. It's unbelievable.
He's hitting home runs in the World Series.
In 50 games of the Diamondbacks, a good hitter's yard. His OPS was 720 in the regular season. It was 820 with the Mets. So I'm telling you, from 2020 on, he's had a half season. His 820 with the Mets is a legitimately good productivity out of an outfielder. Everything else, Jim, is a 700 OPS for years. Am I going to give that guy, because he's a good clubhouse guy and Preller's got a good relationship with him, $14 million? When that's all I have.
All right, let's weigh the options here.
Okay. What do you have, Brent?
All right, real quick. You're wondering about Schilt and Pham. In 2018, Schilt coached 69 games and Pham played 98 for the Cardinals that year.
So he managed him.
He managed him a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Brent.
All right, let's weigh the options here. First option, you sign Tommy Pham, but you have to give him, let's just go 14 million. And you
14 million.
You have 20, let's say you have 20 million left to spend total before you cut it off. And
20 minus 14 now in this hypothetical?
Correct.
I don't have 20 left over. I now have 6 if I use 14 of my 20.
Oh, correct. Of the 20 million you have to spend,
I'm
you
with
spend
you.
14 on Tommy Pham, 1 year deal.
Okay.
And you have 6 million left to potentially find another starter or outfield or bench or whatever, whatever the case may be. DH, whatever case may be. Okay. Or you do not spend that 14 million on Tommy Pham. And you maybe pick up 2 other pieces, not like of big significance, like the Wandy Peralta types, right? For like 10 million or 12 million. And then for the outfield, you have to go within your system. And right now, the system, if you look at it for the outfield, isn't that great.
I'm with you. I think you're a year away from that, paying dividends.
Potentially.
Or more, 2 years, a year to 2.
Maybe more.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what they're going to look like. So, okay, so you're saying what's a better option to win right now? 70470, start it with team, or 877-767-4760. You won't like this. It's not, and it's honestly not to play devil's advocate, but you have needs. So fill the needs. You aren't a player away. Tommy Pham having a 750 OPS and playing 150 games for the Padres in 2024 is nice. But what would also be nice is to spend some of that money on starting pitching, get someone that can give me 130 innings and get someone that can hit 250 and play left field and not hit for power. Is it that far off from Tommy Pham? So it's like, I could go both ways with it. I'm not overly convinced Tommy Pham in this hitter's graveyard is going to resurrect his career and be worth that type of investment. Now, can you do it for less? He made 8 last year and had a good year. He's going to get more.
You could do it. Maybe you do it for 9 or 10,
maybe,
or whatever, 7, 8. I don't know.
And maybe that's what he wants to do. Maybe he'd prefer 9 here to 10 somewhere else. That's not a huge variation. Mm-hmm. But I'm not. What Kevin said makes a lot of sense until like you put the pen on the paper. Can they meet?
Well, what makes more sense? Tommy Pham, who you kind of know what you're going to get from him, but he also is a veteran. Mm-hmm. He brings an edge that
maybe they need.
Maybe this team would have loved to have last year because a lot of players just quit and the egos in the room, and it was a disaster in that clubhouse, and there was nobody in there to really ring it in. I'm not saying Tommy Pham would have been that guy. Maybe he wouldn't have been that guy. Maybe he would have made things worse. I don't know. But
2021.
Again,
it's not his fault that they didn't play well.
He was here, and he was with the collapse. He's already seen a pitching. Collapse. Exactly. Yeah. And he didn't deal with like watching Vince Velasquez on the mound. And I still think that injury that he had for his back played a huge role.
I probably.
Or do you want to have like, I don't know, an outfield of Jose Azocar, Jacob Marcy, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right. You're saying that variation, that difference, is it worth using your money on Pham? Because you're saying that's a big drop.
That's a wide gap for me. That's a wide gap. Now, if Jacob Marcy was like, all you heard was, dude, get ready for this guy. Like, get ready. He is ready to play the outfield. Mm-hmm. Then I would feel different about it. But I mean, you look at Jacob Marcy and you look at the other options they have in the outfield, some of their non-roster invites to spring training, nothing stands out to me.
I agree with that.
And I don't think it stands out to a lot of people either. I mean, you can be hopeful for sure. But I mean, once we talked about this day on the wrap-up show, you are going to see a lot of young players in spring training busting their ass
to make the team,
to try to make this, big league club. And you're going to see guys that are going to do well. Mm-hmm. They just are.
Of course they will.
It's just what happens. And maybe hypothetically, Jacob Marcy has a kind of a breakout spring training. And guess what? He makes the major league roster. Everyone's excited. But you know what the big difference between spring training and the big leagues regular season is?
What's that, Jim?
That would be that it's 162 games and it's his first time in the big leagues. He'll be a rookie facing like legit major league pitching
every day
and not playing every day or playing every day and having that wear down on him. And what's he going to do when he has his first 2 for 30 slump?
Okay. Zokar is playing 150 games or whatever it is. But isn't it also an upgrade if you could add like a Alek Manoah type via trade or a Michael Lorenzen type via free agency? We'll see about like a Lauer, or that's a step below, in my opinion. But if you could add Manoah, or you could add Pham, or you could add Lorenzen, or you could add Pham, like what's more impactful? Getting a guy to make 25 to 30 starts, or pitching Pedro Avila every 5th or 6th day?
If you can get Lorenzen for,
it's not dirt cheap, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
same price as Pham.
All right, take the money out, John. Take this
Lorenzen or Pham.
Take this money issue out.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padres signed Tommy Pham to a 1-year, $12 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
Would you complain about it?
No, if the money wasn't part of it,
like if we're not worried about him getting 12 or 13 million
dollars. I wouldn't. Now, would I critique it? Mm-hmm. I think it would be fair to say, listen, the guy's had a half season in 4 years. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say you've overpaid for him, but I would say he better produce.
So basically the reason why we are, or you or whoever else may be pushing back on signing Tommy Pham, which could cost, we don't know, but could cost between 10 and 14 million because he made 8 million last year.
Should cost that.
The reason why we're pushing back on it would be just strictly money.
Yeah. Why don't here? Okay. It's kissing your sister. Do you have a sister?
No.
Neither do I. But here's like the gentleman's agreement or whatever the term is. Just sign Jerks and Profar and be done with it.
True.
Add Profar and get a pitcher. Like, okay, Pham's better than Profar. I agree. But Pham costs 3 times the amount. So are we going to spend $3 million on Jurickson Profar or 4 times more on Tommy Pham? And is he worth 4 times more money than Jurickson Profar? I don't know. Maybe he is. But if you don't have money, then I'm trying to cross off multiple boxes. I'm trying to check multiple boxes. I don't have one need. I have needs.
I completely agree with you.
That's the problem that they're in.
It's just, you think that they're going to have to at least sign another major leaguer or make a move, a trade for a major leaguer.
Completely.
Because Kevin talked about it today with Jack and Marty. Like, he would be shocked, and I think we would be as well, if this team did not make a significant trade. And by significant, I mean for major league starter for the big league club.
Yeah.
That would be ready to go this upcoming year, put him in the lineup right now, be in the outfield. If they don't do that, I think everybody would be very, very, very surprised.
Yeah, I agree.
And
we've heard Kevin say it. We've heard Dennis say it.
So which route are they going to go? Are they going to, a guy like Tommy Pham, who we know AJ Preller likes a lot, a guy like Jurickson Profar, who we know definitely would get along with the clubhouse, and they've been here before, had success here before. Are you going to go that route, or are you going to go the trade route? It's just, what route are you going to go here is going to be the question, because we do feel like that they're going to they're going to do something. They are going to do something. If they don't do something, then you're really telling everybody you're not even considering really pushing forward this year for the postseason. I feel like if you don't make a move, whether it be signing somebody that would be an outfielder or another starting pitcher or both, right? Or making a trade for the needs that you still have left, you're pretty much telling the fan base, I don't know about this year, guys. That's how I feel it.
Which is not what they're going to try to get across. You know what I mean? I don't know what they feel internally, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Shoot, we don't even know what's going on behind open doors, because we haven't heard from Eric Katsenda.
Is that a thing, behind open doors?
No, we don't know what's going on in plain sight, I'm saying, because we haven't even seen them in plain sight. My fear is this. You're paying Tommy Pham for a first half with a team that was irrelevant in the New York Mets and a nice postseason run. He was really good in 2023. But are we capturing that? Is that lightning in a bottle happening again? Or am I now relying on track record? He's not a pup anymore, Jim. How old is he?
34-ish, 35? I don't know.
He was born March 8th, which is my son's birthday. They should be like best friends.
This is a favorite player right there.
So he was born March 8th, 88. How old does that make him?
Oh, that's 35. I'm 34. I was born
so
in
he's
89.
turning 36 March 8th before the season starts?
Okay, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, 36-year-old that is on the downside of his career, don't make no mistake, I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not. He had a nice year last year. But now I got to rely on futures and analytics and what's the future of this player coming off all the injuries he's come off at his age? What would the numbers project him out to be? We should ask Dan Zaborski. He's not a $14 million player unless I'm crazy.
Probably not. You're probably right. Yeah.
So what are we buying? A shiny object.
Probably.
You're right. And you're looking at it. The truth is, you don't need a Jag, dude.
What if
you need an electric vehicle? No, you need a hybrid.
What if you find that shiny object at a thrift store and you buy it for $6 when in a regular store it's like $25? It's a good deal. So what if you get Tommy Pham
for $6?
For $6 for like $5 million or $7 million?
Not happening.
I mean, I'm just saying, what if though? You don't think that that's a possibility?
Not if he made 8 last year and performed better a year ago than he did the year prior. So how did he get 8 last year if he was bad the year before? He's got to get 8+ this year, and maybe that's doable.
So take the money out. You would not want Tommy Pham on this team.
No, I don't know. If money's no object, I'm all for him. Just like if money's no object, Juan Soto's still here, but money is an object.
I know.
And they had to weigh that into the trade, just like they're weighing it all off season long. To your point in the update or in the fusion, they have signed one player that played in the major leagues last year all offseason. Their season ended October 2nd. Yeah. They signed one player to a $4.125 million deal with a series of one-year opt-ins or opt-outs. That's what they've done.
Yep.
So are they going to then triple? They spent 4 on Wandy Peralta and 14 on Pham. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that if they do that, I guess is my point.
No, I agree with you. I'm just looking at maybe what this team needs and players that can fill those holes. And to me, it has to be a major league player. Like
I
I
agree.
just don't see it in this system. And I could be proven wrong, but also I don't want all of a sudden next year or not next year, but this year in spring training, we start seeing, well, Ha-Seong Kim took reps in the outfield today, or Jake
Yeah.
Cronenworth took reps in the
Right.
outfield
You
today.
can't be getting cute.
Like, what
come
are
on.
we doing?
Yeah.
That
And
would be a
Hassan
problem.
Kim is good where he's at and fills multiple positions because of Machado's health.
Mhm.
He can play third. And listen, I'm all for Cronenworth playing second base, but he's not as you didn't do that. That wasn't the path they went down. So yeah, I mean, it just feels like we say this each and every day. I mean, we're getting a little more movement, which is encouraging. But you analyze it, and it's like a rock and a hard place stuff, which speaks to how quiet they've been. They're probably going through that same scenario in their head. They can't be free spending. They've been very cautious. They're not the only team that's like that, and they're probably weighing. If we've got 14, how do we use it? Do we use it here or not? And why or why not? Do we trade? And they're waiting it off for whatever reason, and now they got to start making decisions because the season's going to start before we know it.
Yeah, 14 is probably way too high. I'm just
Yeah, I get your point. I mean, if you could do it for 9.5, would you do it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm just looking at the top end, and if anything less than that, you feel good about it. If they happen to sign Tommy Pham to a 1-year deal,
Mm-hmm.
if you sign Tommy Pham to a 1-year deal under $10 million, is it really that hard to? Is it really that bad to look at that deal and say it's not the worst thing in the world?
No, I would agree. I would not say it's the worst thing in the world. Would I be maybe skeptical of it? Maybe. I think a lot of people would be excited about it. It's kind of funny how quickly we forget. I don't think he was like the most beloved player.
No, there's definitely a couple people that may have season tickets behind home plate that
There's
maybe
that too.
fabricated some things about Tommy Pham, or
Right.
Yep.
Instigated
instigated some things with Tommy Pham. But hey, look, if Tommy Pham's on your team, he kind of has that like Draymond Green feel.
Yeah, a
Not
little bit.
like you hate him when he's against you, but you like him when he's on your team, even though when he was here, no one really liked him because he
Yeah.
actually didn't perform and like legit almost got in fights with fans.
Well, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, Tommy Pham, 1-year flyer, if it takes up most of the remaining monies that the Padres have, 877-767-4760, 877-767-4760, or text us, 70470, start it with team. That's 70470, start it with team. We will give away tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon in the 4 o'clock hour. More on the potential of the Padres adding Tommy Pham. Is he a fit? Plus, Wandy Peralta, what does he do for this bullpen? Plus, more on last night for San Diego State. We're just underway. It's Jon and Jim. Stay with us. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer. I've been telling you about my friends over at Novo Brazil Brewing with their brand new spot in Mission Valley, as good of a sports bar as you could possibly imagine, right here in San Diego, centrally located. Spectacular place. They've got that brand new Aztecs raspberry kombucha available. And by the way, Novo Brazil Brewing is a proud supporter of the Mesa Foundation. So proceeds from that product go to San Diego State men's and women's basketball players. This was a product, this kombucha, the Aztecs kombucha, taste tested by Aztecs, Lamont Butler and Jaden Ledee and Micah Parrish. It's a brand new co-branded product. It's available at all of their area locations. They have 5 of them. You can get more information, by the way, at novobrew.com. That's N-O-V-O brew.com. I was over in Mission Valley for the grand opening. This is like 2 weeks ago now. The place is unbelievable. It really is. 350 seats. Okay, full bar menu, 60 taps of Novo Brazil beer. They have the kombucha I've been telling you about, all types of flavors. They've got seltzers. They have great, great food. All of their locations, Otay Ranch, Mission Valley, all of them, whatever it is, the sandwiches, tacos, burgers, empanadas. They have salads, appetizers, Brazilian-inspired entrees as well. So it's now open. You need to get there. Big game is coming up. College hoops on television this weekend and much, much more. For more information on all of their area locations, go to novobrew.com. That's N-O-V-O brew.com.
All right, this update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Padres, they made a move today for reliever Wandy Peralta, former Yankees reliever last year, lefty. Signed him to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal. But the catch is there's an opt-out every single year of the deal. And the Aztecs last night lost on the road to Colorado State. Next up, they'll take on Utah State at home this weekend. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE.
Oh, okay. A developing story here. We're giving away San Diego State tickets for Saturday. The biggest game of the year for San Diego State. I am not overselling it. It is that important. We're pushing must-win time for San Diego State at home. We have tickets for San Diego State, Utah State. We'll tell you how you can win those tickets. Chance to win those tickets today on Jon Jim. Huge game. Last Saturday home game of the year. Hard for you to believe.
Wow.
Jim. Saturday at 12:30, my buddy Jason Benetti on the call. I think he's going to join us Friday, by the way.
Love
on
it.
the radio as well. All right. Pham can be polarizing. People want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Then we need to get to Wandy Peralta, which is actually a move that was made. Tommy Pham is just out there in the ether.
It's rumors.
Just a rumor. So let's go to the phones. 877-767-4760. What do you guys think? You want Tommy Pham back or not? Do you want him back or not? Trevor, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good,
what up,
dude.
man?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm just thinking, as a San Diego fan, diehard San Diego fan, best move for us at this moment is probably to think plausible financially as well and go after Profar. He's a fan favorite to the town. He can, he's a dual threat, offensively, defensively. He can go outfield, infield for us. Table the Tommy Pham thing. Personally, he's just kind of a butthead in the sports industry.
Thanks for the call, Trevor. I'm going to have to push back on signing players because they're fan favorites. I just am. I want to win. If you're the Padres and if you're a fan, I think winning's more important. Fan favorites are nice, but also, are they going to perform? It is a interesting comp because if you get, like you said, if you get Jerks and Profar, you're probably going to get the same production out of him as you might get out of Tommy Pham.
Potentially.
So in that scenario, I get it. But from the notion of just bringing back guys just because they're fan favorites, I
agree. I mean, to me, like Pham is like souped up Profar.
Like, because he's
like, no,
bigger?
like he's a better version.
Oh, okay.
He theoretically, not a guarantee. It's like the difference between like a generic product and like the brand name. Like is there that big of a difference?
Like the Safeway Select tissue paper or
like an actual Kleenex.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not talking Soto to Profar. We're talking Pham to Profar.
Yes.
So again, I'd have to look at Profar's numbers. He was bad last year, but then again,
he played in Colorado.
But then again, Tommy Pham was bad in 2022 and 2021,
right?
And 2020. So that I think it's a fair question.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't have an answer. That's why we're asking.
And if they sign either one of those guys, I would be fine with it, and I think it would be a better move than potentially
doing nothing.
Not only doing nothing, but giving that spot to somebody in your system that might not be ready, or one of the non-roster invites that they have coming to the spring training for this team. But I'm not. You sign Tommy Pham, I think it's a good move. You sign Jerks and Profar, I think it'd be a good move. Just the money would be the biggest thing and be the biggest question mark. And if you could get both of those guys for the same money, like if you could sign both of those guys right now, Jon, for $6 million, which one you taking?
Between Pham and Profar?
Or like you get Pham for $6 million, or you can get Profar for 2.5.
Probably Pham. But it's a question. It's seriously a question. And again, if the disparity is 6, 8, 10 million between the two players, I'd take Profar. If it's a couple of $1 million, I'd probably take Pham. Peralta. So they added a left-handed reliever who's had nice numbers.
An actual move
with the Yankees.
Today, yes.
So, and it's got a series of opt-outs, but who cares about that? He's under contract for 2024. He's making like $4 million, a little more. What's interesting and where there was pushback on this is not because of his level of success. He's been relatively successful as a left-handed reliever the last 3 years for the Yankees. What I saw today is like, this wasn't your need, AJ, and you've got limited cash. Why are you taking a portion of your limited cash and putting it into your bullpen. Your bullpen is relatively shored up. Couldn't we have used that $4 or $5 million per year and put it elsewhere? Again, everything else being equal, you've really bolstered your bullpen, and that's a nice addition. But does it impact their ability to finish off this roster?
I actually really like the move. When you actually think about it, it makes sense to me from the standpoint of going out and signing a major league starting pitcher, which the rate is right now, probably not that realistic with where the Padres are money-wise. So how are they going to pivot and make sure that they can fill these innings that are needed this upcoming season? Load up in the bullpen. And if you have guys in your rotation like Waldron and Avila, and they're making 25 starts a year and you expect them to go 6 or 7 innings, that's a problem. But if you have those guys in your rotation and they make 20 starts a year each, and they're giving you solid 4 innings or maybe even 5, and you have the bullpen take over in those games, then it makes a little more sense. You're not asking a lot or too much out of these guys. If you're just asking, hey, we need you to go 4 for us today for Avila and Waldron, and we have everything in the bullpen that we need to get us to the 9th, if we have a lead, to me, it makes sense. Now, the biggest question mark for me, and almost the key to the entire bullpen, is Robert Suarez. If Robert Suarez is going to be 2022 Robert Suarez, pretty damn good bullpen, in my opinion. If Robert Suarez is going to be 2023 version of Robert Suarez, major problems.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, your point is valid where it's like, okay, bolster up your bullpen because you're unsure about your rotation, but has that played out to be accurate? At the end of the day, you still only have a set number of players in your bullpen. Yes, you can rotate through. Yes, there will be injuries. Yes, there will be promotions and demotions. But like, I'll give you an example. A year ago, Peralta threw 54 innings and 63 outings. He's between 2/3 of an inning and an inning on average every time he appears. So, man, if you've got 1 or 2 starters on average going 4 2/3 innings, you're asking a lot, even if you have a good bullpen covering those innings, because now you're covering those innings. But what happens when you're in meaningful games and you've got leads and you can only turn to these players so often, is my point. Like, just because you've bolstered your bullpen doesn't normally mean you're getting more innings out of it. You have a good bullpen, but you haven't stretched their arms out. Like, is he going to throw more innings next year?
More quality arms, the better. I think Wandy Peralta is a quality arm. I
I
also think he's a much needed arm for this bullpen, because if your only 2 lefties this year are going to be Matsui and Cosgrove,
it's not enough.
That's not enough. You have a guy that hasn't pitched in the big leagues ever. And Tom Cosgrove had a really nice rookie year last year, but still, you need more than that. And if you're going to be facing Shohei Ohtani and Max Muncy and guys like Cody Bellinger, if he signs in the National League, is Jung Hoo Lee a lefty? I think he is, right?
I thought he was too, because that's what they were needing, right?
Yeah, gonna fit like the knees.
Yeah, exactly. Fit a knee. Jung Hoo Lee is a left-handed batter,
so you're gonna be facing some pretty big time left-handed bats now. You're gonna need some quality left-handers coming out of that bullpen, and Wandy Peralta, he's faced Shohei Ohtani before. He has had 3 really good seasons with the Yankees. Not the best, right? But still quality seasons with them. And you're going to need as many lefties as possible, left-handers coming out of that bullpen as possible that are quality guys. And I just think it's a really good move. It all depends. It all is dependent on what Robert Suarez is going to be for you this year, in my opinion.
Well, it was funny, not really funny. A year ago, they blew saves before the 9th. They couldn't get it to Hader with a lead.
That was a problem, yeah.
I don't know how many examples, but maybe close to 20 examples of that where they had leads that they squandered before the 9th inning. Well, you hope you're not setting yourself up for the opposite, where you take leads with you into late game situations, but you don't have Josh Hader anymore. And if Suarez isn't 2022 Suarez, and if Go and Matsui take time, then the harder your bullpen might be really good, but can you consistently close games out in the 9th inning? I mean, they were terrible in 1-run games last year, not because of Hader.
No.
But this is like almost the opposite to me. It's like they've put themselves in a position where they can maybe maintain a lead in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Can they hold it in the 9th inning? And are they going to consistently turn to Robert Suarez to be that guy? And if not, Do you have faith that someone else, Matsui or Go, is consistently going to hold that lead?
Now, you lost Josh Hader, obviously, so then you needed to upgrade your bullpen or at least get pieces in your bullpen. But
right.
these moves that he has made for Go and Matsui and Peralta and De Los Santos, like those moves, like you just said, signal, okay, we were in a lot of run one games last year, and we couldn't be able to get it to Hader in the ninth.
Yep.
That needs to change. So a rehaul of most of their bullpen was probably on the priority list this offseason.
And that's what they've done.
And so far, that's what they've done. And
Soto deal,
Brito, Vasquez, like they have some really good arms coming out of their bullpen. It's just figuring out everybody's role upcoming year, and we'll see what Matsui and Go are going to be like. But to expect them to come in right away out the gates and performing at a high level isn't that fair to do. So giving them time while you have not veterans, but major league arms that have been in the big leagues for a while, getting those spots and easing in Go and Matsui, and hopefully Robert Suarez, takes the ninth inning, the bull by the horns there, and becomes that, closer that the Padres, signed just a year ago to be the, replacement to Josh Hader. I don't know, man. I view this bullpen as has the potential to be really good.
It does. Okay, so a year ago, the Texas Rangers won the World Series, right? I have that right?
They did.
They blew 33 saves last year. The Padres blew 28. And you say, wow, 28, that's a huge number. But when you hear blown saves, that doesn't mean in the ninth inning they blew the save. So there's other time you can't get it to the ninth inning with a 1, 2, or 3 run lead. Those are save situations. And the 28 blown saves by the Padres were like the 10th most in baseball. As in, it was a lot, but it didn't lead baseball. And the Texas Rangers actually had more blown saves last year than the Padres.
And how many of those were actually by Josh Hader? Not a lot.
Not a lot. I'll look it up.
How many times does this team in the 7th or 8th inning give up big time home runs, or, they're up by 4 runs and all of a sudden they're tied because Luis Garcia or whoever the case may be came in and gave it up?
Yeah, he had 5. He had 5 blown saves. He had an 87% kind of close/save rate, which is good. But he had 5 a year ago in 38 opportunities. All right, last night, San Diego State on the road in Fort Collins on the short end of a 79-71 result. We'll get into that coming up next. Again, we've got San Diego State tickets to give away for Saturday, this massive game between the Aztecs and the Aggies, Saturday at 12:30. We'll give those away coming up as well. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, Jim Fact, the big game is just around the corner, and you can play along right now on Underdog Fantasy with the Pick'em game. You pick between 2 to 5 players and select higher or lower on player stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in one single night.
Yeah, it's legal in California, and me and John, we've been playing Underdog Fantasy for about a year now, and it could not be easier. If you like fantasy sports, you're going to love Underdog Fantasy. It's the best and easiest way to win.
Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim. That's JONANDJIM. And Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Then you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than a half total yard to use on your first pick of entry.
Yeah, it's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jon and Jim to get your first deposit of $10 or more matched, plus your special pick. Must be 18 years or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
All right, JD Gaucho. Thank you, man, for your super chat. Guys, if you're here, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we have content for San Diego sports fans for you weekdays, 3 to 6, anytime on demand on YouTube. So please subscribe. If you are here, we get to the super chats. If you click the $ below the chat box, we get to them during breaks. We're a little late on this one. JD Gaucho, my apologies. He says, Tommy Pham has an edge teams need. Bring him back. What do you think of that, Jim?
He definitely has an edge.
Right.
I mean, the scenario is what you want from Tommy Pham is, one, he gives you that edge and he plays well. Like, that's the jackpot scenario. If he plays well and he gives you that edge, he becomes that like rah, like we're not going to quit type of guy, which he has shown he can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. The problem is the biggest question mark is, can he even play well?
Right. But did Jock Peterson sign somewhere, by the way?
Yeah, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm with you, JD Gaucho. I would just say, like, they had him in 2021 and the wheels completely fell off. No, it's not his fault.
No.
But they had him in 2021 and the
He
wheels
didn't play
completely
well
fell
either,
off.
so that's a problem. If he plays well, it's great. But he doesn't play well, it's not. Rah stuff doesn't do much when you don't play well.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's coming off a nice year. He had a nice year, and he'll probably get paid because of that nice year. JD Gaucho, thank you, man. We'll be back on the air here and on YouTube momentarily. So thank you, guys. Please subscribe. Hit the like button for us. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the memberships. And we'll be back in a moment. All right, you're going to hear from Aaron Boone coming up. Do you want to do that here real quick or no?
Do it.
All right, Aaron Boone, Yankees manager, Talking Yanks YouTube page. I think I have that right. Talking Yanks YouTube page. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Talking about the Juan Soto deal. Did the Padres, in fact, win this trade, Jim?
Well, according to everybody with the Yankees, I mean,
According to Aaron Boone, it's like the biggest haul or heist.
I mean, hey, we got Juan Soto, but you guys got Michael freaking King.
Right.
That is huge.
And remember what they told us before the trade? We will never trade Michael King.
Never.
They traded Michael King. But the behind the scenes on it's pretty interesting. This is Aaron Boone, Talking Yanks on YouTube.
You know, it was definitely in the hopper and looked like it was potentially going to happen, but it was actually all the days at the winter meetings where, you know, we're trying different iterations, you know, in a lot of ways, probably trying to keep Michael King out of the deal. So that's why it probably took a few days. And then at the end, you know, obviously we gave up a really good package. I think the Padres did really well in the deal. But at the end of the day, you're like, man, this is Juan Soto we have a chance to get. So, so excited to have him. You know, I think everyone here that's, you know, follows us closely, you know, and follows the game of baseball knows like to dream on, you know, what he and Aaron can be as a tandem, and then the supporting cast around those guys, you know, offense, which we struggled to be consistent at all season long last year. I'm really excited about the potential of our offense and now a little more of the versatility and the depth of the offense too, that hopefully we're in a better position to withstand, you know, the inevitable injury that pops up or whatever it may be. Hopefully we're in a better spot to absorb that offensively this year, because I think we're going to really bang.
So one thing about Preller that I will praise him on is when he draws the line in the sand on something he wants, he is not going to budge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just isn't. Either the deal's not going to get done or it will get done and he gets what he wants. That's how I kind of view this Yankees trade with Juan Soto. They wanted Michael King badly. Like, that was the person they wanted the most, and he wasn't budging. And you heard from Aaron Boone there that, you know, they didn't want to give up Michael King, and it took him a while, but Preller did not budge at all. Now we'll see if Michael King can actually be a legitimate, every fifth day starter for this team and give this team like 150, 160 innings next year. But you see the promise with Michael King. You see that he has some good stuff, and you saw what he did last year with 9 starts for the Yankees, which was really good. It's
Really
just,
good.
It's just, it's
Big
still
difference between 9 starts.
That's a question mark still. It is, and you just get. I mean, you lost Juan Soto. Like end of the day, I'll still stand by it. You lost Juan Soto.
Well, now you have 2 people. You've got Michael King saying the Padres won the trade. Right. You have Aaron Boone, Yankees manager, saying the Padres won the trade. The truth is, the Yankees only make the trade if they think they won the trade. And they've landed Juan Soto, pairing him with Aaron Judge in a city where all that really matters is just winning. So it's like you got to go upside there. It's like when the Padres acquired Soto. I'm like, you do it if you can win a World Series. You're getting Juan Soto. Didn't work out for San Diego. Nobody envisioned this. I didn't envision a year and a half. You don't trade for someone with 2.5 years of control like Juan Soto.
I know.
And then trade him away. And to your point, I don't know what it's going to say 3 years from now. Drew Thorpe could be a future number 1 starter in the major leagues, but
could be
this upcoming year. If King doesn't produce, wow, because it's going to be really magnified. You need him to produce. And you got Juan Soto playing in the Bronx every single night on national television in a walk year as a 25-year-old capable of having an 1100 OPS. So there's going to be like those comps. I mean, it's stupid. Michael King isn't Juan Soto, and they don't play same positions. But if Michael King doesn't live up to it and Juan Soto produces, there's going to be a lot of rushes to judgment, I would say.
All right, tell me what you think of these numbers.
Okay.
All right. 14-4 with the 3.22 ERA, 24 games started, 134 in the third innings pitched, 124 strikeouts, 43 walks. What do you think of those numbers?
I think they're very good. I think you're telling me it's either Seth Lugo or Michael Wacha.
That was Michael Wacha last year.
Yeah.
You're going to need to get pretty close, maybe better of a season for Michael King than Michael Wacha had last year. You're going to need to get the low 3 ERA guy. You're going to need to get probably 150 plus innings from Michael King this upcoming season.
And what did he throw last year?
134. We know that.
134?
Yeah. Wacha went on the IL for a little while.
Yeah.
So he only started 24 games.
Yep.
You're probably looking at 28. You're going to need around 25, 26, 27, 8 games started from.
Because you can fill in with the other guy.
Yeah.
The Avalas and
you
the
don't need
Waldrons,
33 starts from Michael King. If you got if you got 33 starts from Michael King, something went extremely well for you this upcoming season from a Michael King standpoint.
Correct.
But you get 27 starts from Michael King, that is very good. And that's what I think you should be aiming for if you're the Padres. Around 150 to 160 innings pitched, low 3 ERAs. Well, the win-loss record is the win-loss record. But still, it's nice to have a 14-4 record.
It is.
It
is. I mean, are you kidding me? If you can replicate that and you're Michael King, you're taking that right now.
You replicate that, then you look at the trade up this upcoming season.
So I get it.
You're like, okay,
yeah,
that's good. You like it. You got a pitcher that helps you, didn't cost a lot, and he's under control for 2 seasons. And then Brito Vasquez, we'll see what they do out of the bullpen and see what happens with Thorpe and go from there. But that's pretty much the bar that you're looking at for Michael King next season is
go be like a number 3 starter.
Go be that type of pitcher. And if you're not, that's a problem. If you're better, great.
All right. On the other side, we do have Aztec Utah State tickets to give away. We will give those away. So stay with us. San Diego State, Utah State, massive game in the Mountain West Saturday. We'll get into last night for the Aztecs as well. On the other side, plus the wrap, plus we have Train and REO Speedwagon tickets to give away. So a lot of giveaways, a lot to get to. Jeff Smith from the Mesa Foundation on a really cool partnership today with Blenders, another San Diego-based company. He'll join us at 4:30. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. We'll start with the Aztecs. They lost last night in Fort Collins to Colorado State, 79-71. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Utah State at Viejas Arena this Saturday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres made a move today. They signed left-hand reliever from the Yankees last year, Wandy Peralta, to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal. The catch is he has an opt-out every single year of the deal. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. We have Aztec Aggie tickets to give away. Utah State is 17th in the nation. They are 19-2. They will be here Saturday at Viejas Arena. Huge game. We can discuss whether it's a must-win or not for San Diego State. We have tickets for that game we'll give away here today between now and 6 p.m. We also have Train and REO Speedwagon tickets to give away. We'll do that during Trainwreck Radio coming up later this hour. There's a lot to get into from last night for San Diego State. We can do that on the other side of the wrap because we'll have a San Diego State question in there. So we can look back at last night. We can look ahead to Saturday. A lot of Padres news today. We haven't said that a lot. I mean, seriously, right?
No, we have not.
Season ended October, whatever, 1st or 2nd. So October, November, December, January. We've gone 4 months. The first major league move they made, other than trading Soto, was today.
Signing Go and Matsui. Those
True,
are
but to your point, not players that were in the major leagues.
Correct. It's not the newsiest of days, but for us,
no. Yeah.
You get a Tommy Pham rumor from Kevin, and you get an actual signing. Sign me up.
Yeah. Right. Wandy Peralta is a nice addition. It also leads to this question. Have you bolstered your bullpen so much that someone becomes expendable?
Like Adrian Morejon?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That type of player.
A guy that has never lived up to his potential, probably selling very low on him, but at the same time, he's never been high. He's never been at high trade value here. You brought back Luis Patino. What's he going to look like in spring training?
Mm-hmm.
Is he he's going to be fighting for a roster spot? You'd think. Guy like Jay Groom going to be fighting for a roster spot. Probably, I would say, 2 more. If you're just looking bullpen, I can name 7 right now that are locks. What do you think?
Well, there's only going to be
1 more.
Yeah, I forget what's the max pitchers on a roster, whatever it is. Yeah, it's only 1 or 2. 1 more, probably.
Probably 1 more.
Yeah,
because if you got 5 starters, you got
8 in your bullpen. That's 13. Then you have
13
with your
position
DH.
players.
It's 13 and 13.
Okay,
I forget what the rules are. You can only have so many pitchers, right, on that roster. Now I forget what the number is.
So we're probably realistically looking at
14.
14. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 or 2 more spots, probably 2.
Yeah.
So
you're pretty set.
You're pretty
These
set.
Roster guys, system guys.
At least you have people that are going to be competing for that job. And if they make the big league team out of spring training, you're not thinking to yourself, oh boy. You're thinking, okay, we'll see how it goes. The problem with the flip side of the thing is whoever makes this team out of spring training that potentially could play outfield and start in the outfield for this team, it will not be I'm excited to see this. It will be oh boy.
All right, Jeff Smith is the president of the Mesa Foundation. They announced a really cool partnership today with Blenders, San Diego-based company. The CEO of Blenders went to San Diego State. His first ever pair of glasses he sold was called The Show for San Diego State men's basketball. They're partnering together.
It's kind of a perfect marriage.
12th year anniversary of Blenders. They're going to partner together. We'll talk about that coming up at 4:30. We've got Train and REO Speedwagon tickets. We have San Diego State basketball tickets to give away. And we have this.
Which reliever will have the best season for the Padres?
I'm gonna speak it into existence and say Robert Suarez.
Okay.
He is the key to me. He has a lights out year, or not a lights out year. That'd be great if he did, but if he has a really good season, the back end of that bullpen, he establishes himself as this team's closer. There's no questions about it. There's no bullpen by committee in the 9th inning. he is the closer. If he establishes himself in that role, everything trickles down into place for me in that bullpen, because then the roles will be defined better. You're not looking at, well, we'll put this guy in the ninth inning. We'll put this guy in the ninth inning. We'll see how this goes in the ninth inning. Like, you need someone to step up and take over that role in the ninth. And I think Robert Suarez is going to get the first crack at it. So for me, I'm going to try to speak it into existence and say Robert Suarez.
I like it. I mean, do we have faith that a guy with 1 save in 2 years is going to be the 30 save type? It is possible.
Got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And I would say this, even though last year was like a lost year, 26 outings, had the sticky stuff thing, was heard.
Yeah.
His whip was 0.9. His career walks and hits over innings in 2 years is under 1. So he's had elite stuff, right? And we talked about in 2022, he was unhittable for most of the year. He really was. Now, if he somehow replicates 2022, I'm with you. I think the Padres could be in for something pretty special, potentially, if he can unlock 2022 in a ninth inning, but we got to see it.
Yeah.
He's got 1 career save.
So are you picking Robert Suarez? Who you picking?
Yeah, because I mean, where else would you go? I mean, I think Matsui and Go can be nice pieces. I think Tom Cosgrove is a nice piece, Peralta, nice piece, but I'm not going to be like, hey, that 7th inning guy
had a great year, but then
doesn't matter.
Robert Suarez blew 12 saves.
Yeah,
like, it's a problem.
We could be wrong, because maybe like a Matsui does establish himself as a closer, and all of a sudden
Maybe.
Suarez gets passed over and someone has a really nice year. But I would start with Suarez.
Yeah.
Next question.
What's wrong with the Lakers?
Everything.
They're bad, right?
They're really bad.
Game under 500.
50 games into the year.
Did you see what LeBron tweeted out last night? Like, very late.
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
Did you see the death stare he gave Darvin Ham at the end of that Atlanta game? He would have burned a hole through his head.
And then post game, either last night or the night before, he was about to say something about his teammates, and then he stopped himself and said, "I'm glad you guys stopped this press conference because I'm about to say something I would have regretted," or along those lines, like verbatim. So I don't know, man. It's another situation where LeBron is going to have a big hand in probably revamping this team in a huge way
At the deadline,
right? Just like it did last year, getting as a 7th seed.
And it worked out pretty well last year.
Oh, yeah, making the conference finals. But there's this old Anthony Davis continues to get injured. They don't have like a true point guard. It's just, yeah, I mean, Austin Reeves is not playing like he did last year for them. LeBron has definite moments, but I mean, he's not like 28-year-old LeBron anymore.
Sure. I mean, here's the amazing thing. So is this LeBron's 4th or 5th season in a Lakers uniform? I think it's his 5th, right?
Well, the pandemic was his first year, right? No, it was his second year, because the first year they sucked.
Well, hold on.
2019?
That was his first year was 2018-19?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Jim, you're the guy.
What? You have it in front of you.
I know, I'm looking. He was on the team. But here's my point. I guess the point I was trying to make is this. And they won a title again in Orlando. They were 8 games under in 2019. They were 52-19 in 2020. Pretty good. They were 12 over, then 4 under, then 4 over, now 1 under. Like, again, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln has the play. The title's a title. Whatever you want to say, whatever. They won a title. It's a little different. But, I mean, outside of that season, the other 5 years, he's like been 500. In 5 of the 6 seasons, the Lakers have been like a 500 team with LeBron James.
Yeah, the biggest problem is Anthony Davis isn't who he thought he would be.
Maybe at this point.
Because when they got Anthony Davis, the expectation was, all right, LeBron can take a little bit of a seat back. Anthony Davis is going to take the bull by the horns here and become that like top 5 player in the NBA.
And that's not
He's
happening.
not even close.
Yep.
Well, if you remember too about the bubble, they were beat up, but then they had that month and a half layoff to where you know it's pretty much an extended off season, so they're really all fresh.
I mean, and truthfully, you know, I give the 2020 World Series a hard time. This thing makes the 2020 World Series look like the most legitimate World Series in baseball history, does it not? They're playing with fake fans in like a high school gym.
It was good production.
Yeah, but that is not, you're not replicating the NBA in that environment where you're kind of replicating baseball in Texas. I mean, it was baseball.
You put everybody in quarantine in like a resort hotel place.
It was weird, man.
3 months, 2 months.
It was weird.
Yeah, I know it was
I think it was weirder than the baseball season. And the baseball season was super weird.
Dude, everything was weird that year.
Yeah.
Everything.
All right, next question.
Should the Padres use the majority of the money they have left and spend it on Tommy Pham or a pitcher?
Well, going back on my Tommy Pham number that I put out there earlier in the show, which was 14 million.
You think it's too high?
Might have been a little too high.
It's like me and John guessing your auction things in the back page.
Yeah, probably too high.
Yeah, but it's not crazy off, dude. He made 8 last year. I think.
So if he got 10 this year, like, yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh man, he's gonna get $25 million in the next 10.
Yeah, exactly.
It all depends. If you can get Jesus Luzardo, I would choose Luzardo over Tommy Pham for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what other pitchers out there would you be wanting to give that much money to when you do actually have people in your system that I would be okay with seeing? The thing is, you don't have anybody in your system in the outfield that I'm okay with seeing right now at the big league level.
36-year-old Tommy Pham or like 26-year-old Alek Manoah, former frontline starter, available maybe via trade from Toronto.
Well, you're going to have to give up.
Again, they're different. Right. There's capital.
Yeah.
They're different. I don't know. I could be convinced either way as long as Pham actually produces. Like, I don't need to. There were times in his 2 years as a Padre where he literally was invisible. He did nothing. He would go weeks doing very little. And he's not exactly a huge asset defensively.
No.
And he's not a power guy.
No.
So he's got to get on base. And when he's not getting on base, I mean, there were some periods of time as a Padre, it looked really bad.
Very bad.
But again, last year, he kind of maybe turned the back half of his career around. We'll see what he ends up getting. I think he's going to get somewhere around 10.
But it would not shock me if he returns to the Padres, I'll tell you that.
It wouldn't shock me.
Not at all.
Next question.
What's your biggest takeaway from last night's loss versus Colorado State?
A lot of things. They lost that game in the first 5 minutes. Like, they got out to a horrible start. Colorado State wasn't a 17-5 to start the game.
17-4.
17-4 to start the game. I'm sure Dutch, I didn't hear his post game, but I'm sure that he would reference the start of that game as being a big reason why they lost.
He talked about not taking a timeout because he's like, well, I had nothing to share other than what I had shared 5 minutes earlier, and we did not execute.
Yeah. Yeah. And to start that poorly, to me was my biggest takeaway is this is a big game for you guys on the road. It's not like a crazy hostile environment. To me, I think the no-show at the start of the game was an issue. Now they to their credit, they battled back in there, and Lamont Butler had an amazing game, but Ledee kind of was a no-show for most of that game. The shooting actually showed up. Like, they shot well from three, but they just couldn't stop Colorado State. Every time they needed to stop, couldn't stop them.
You know, I thought Ziegler had it good in the UT today where he said they fell behind, they came back, and then they ran out of gas.
Yeah, everyone knows how it is. I mean, to your point, when you're going uphill like that, especially at elevation, you're using a lot of energy. I mean, Lamont, there was a quote in Mark's article today, and people were asking post-game on the wrap-up show or on YouTube last night, like, what was the coaching staff thinking, taking Lamont out of the game with 7.5 minutes to play? He had taken over. Lamont is quoted by Mark in the paper saying, I asked to be taken out. I was completely gassed.
Spent.
And I said this last night. There's a pick your poison that goes into this. You can just play your effective players 40 minutes, but guess what happens at elevation? You run out of gas. We've seen this before. Or you can effectively use your rotation. You have to use your rotation. And those guys have to be impactful for you. And by the way, I thought the bench yesterday was very good.
Miles Bird played
Miles
great.
Bird was great. You look at some of the plus minuses, the bench was very good. In regards to Jaden, here's the thing. It's not that Jaden was, I don't know what your term was, maybe no show.
I said,
but it's what teams are doing to take him out of the game.
I said for most of that game, not the whole game. Right. He did put up some points at the end there.
13-7, a couple of assists. He was 6 of 11 from the floor.
But there was a point in the game where he had 2 points and they needed him badly.
And he's not getting any calls on the road. They need to find a way when on the road, Jaden's not getting calls and Jaden's not scoring 30 points, but take him out of the game. So you need to then have secondary and tertiary, that's a big word, scores, and they had it last night. Lamont played well. Reese played well. It's just to your point, when you fall behind like that, I mean, when they took a lead, I'm like, are they going to pull a rabbit out of their hat?
That was the thinking. You know what moment of the game really was like eye-opening as far as like maybe they weren't ready, or like Dutch said, whatever I said to them 5 minutes ago, like it's not going to be any different than what I'm going to say to them now.
Right.
So there was a moment in that game, and I don't exactly remember the timing of it, but it was in the first half. And it was just a simple pass from the elbow back to the top of the key to Darion Trammell.
Okay.
And he wasn't paying attention and went back court.
Oh, yeah, in the first half.
And it was a turnover.
Yeah.
And that alone right there, I looked at Aaron, I'm like, yeah, something's off here. Like that doesn't happen if you are ready to go. I'm not saying that they weren't ready to go, but it's what it felt like because the score was the score.
Yeah, I will say this, like, two things here. Rarely is San Diego State out of any game. It happened once this year in New Mexico second half, right? Final 10 minutes, they were out of the game. And then rarely does San Diego State fall behind like that in any game. Like, we'd have to do the deep dive the last time they trailed by 14 or more, as early as they trailed by 14 last night. They trailed 21-7, 8 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot recall. There's an example. I just can't recall it. There was a Utah State game a couple of years ago during the COVID year when they played back-to-backs, where I think they were beaten pretty soundly in game one. But it's such a rarity, is my point. And I also said this last night. It's like, also two things can be true. Like, some of it is a credit to Colorado State. To your point, not some of the careless turnovers, right? Unforced turnovers is not a credit really to Colorado State. So Colorado State needed it. As I said, coming in, San Diego State needs Saturday.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. If you're going to win the regular season title, you have to win Saturday against Utah State, which, oh, by the way, is 19-2.
Yeah, I thought Reese Waters played a fantastic game offensively. I would like to honestly see him shoot more. Like, taking just 9 shots in that game and getting 17 points, like the efficiency right there is
really good.
Extremely good. 3 for 3 from deep. You almost want to see him kind of shoot the ball more and kind of just give me the ball. I'm gonna go get a bucket type of mentality.
Right.
And to see Jay Powell only play 8 minutes last night, you're kind of like,
see, some of it though. See, this is where, and we'll have Dutch tomorrow, Brian Dutcher show, 6 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. This is where we don't know the impact of elevation. I mean, Kawhi Leonard played at San Diego State, and there was I forget the circumstance. He may have missed a game. He's definitely missed halves at elevation. Elevation impacts people differently.
Yeah.
I thought Jaden, again, he played 33 minutes. He was coming off the food poisoning. It's like, did the elevation impact him?
He only had 2 points in the first half.
2 points, 1 of 4 shooting. It was a weird game. Honestly, like when I think about last night, I'm like, it was just a little off. And now they have to find a way to just completely put it behind them. Completely put it behind them and beat Utah State Saturday. I think you beat Utah State Saturday, you're absolutely fine. If you lose to Utah State on Saturday, whoa, your next 2 games are on the road.
Yeah, they couldn't stop Clifford or Stevens last night, and that was a big problem. Like, anytime that Colorado State needed a bucket, one of those guys got it for them.
They shot 55%, 54, 55%.
Yeah, and you're almost kind of sitting here, and like I go back to Reese Waters. I'm not putting this game on him by any means necessary, but I see Reese Waters, 17 points on 9 shots, and you're almost like, well, maybe can we bump that up to like 15 shots, right? Maybe that you get 15 shots, maybe you make 8 of them. I don't know. It's 9 of them, 10 of them.
It's hard to
the way
know,
he was shooting last night. He may well could have.
Like, what were they done in by? Were they done in by their own self-inflicted wounds? The turnovers, were they done in by the fact that they couldn't get stops defensively?
It was tops defensively in the Karras turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not to me any individual like, oh, if Saunders did this, if Trammell did that. I mean, it's all a factor, but at the end of the day, an opponent shooting 54.5% against San Diego State doesn't happen a lot. And then 15 turnovers coming off a game in which you had 2 against Wyoming. If they could have cut that number down to 10, again, it's maybe the difference between winning and losing.
I think I'm just talking like bigger picture for Reese Waters, like just
bigger picture. This was a big rebound because of his ankle. To see him as efficient as that, I think it does change things down the stretch.
I just think going forward, maybe you'd like to see him shoot more and insert himself offensively more into the games, because he's a very flow type of player. Like, he'll play within the flow of the offense, and he'll get his shots, and he's very efficient at times. He's not the type of guy that's like, give me the ball, I'm gonna go get a bucket, dribble, post up, fade, whatever the case may be, right? He's a very in the flow type of player, and it's good for this offense, but it's like he's so good, you want to see like more of it almost.
Yeah, it's interesting because he was playing so efficiently the first 2 months, then he got hurt. He wasn't as efficient in January. Then I knew the week off was going to benefit him, and he had the pep in his step. Yeah. He looked really good. I just think it's encouraging heading into Saturday, having that additional scoring threat in Reese Waters. And I thought Lamont Butler, who kind of tweaked an ankle at the end of the game, which you don't like, but I thought Lamont Butler had some really good moments. For me, Lamont right now is playing a little bit like he was playing last year. He's not thinking as much. He's hitting some shots. I think overall he was 6 of 15 from the floor, but he had 3 misses, final like 32nd. He had a couple blocks and missed a point-blank layup. But I think Lamont's playing a lot better. So there's some encouraging things in there, but they just got to find a way to win on Saturday.
And you look at the last 3 losses for this team: Colorado State, Boise State, at New Mexico. You just look at Jaden's numbers: 13 points, 13 points, 15 points. Like, it's kind of easy to correlate. If he's not getting you 18 to 22 points in a game, it's going to be difficult for you to win. Like, he has to pretty much be that dominant force of a scorer. And when you see outputs of 13, 13, and 15 in the last 3 losses on the road, you're probably going to face an uphill battle.
And by the way, this Saturday, San Diego State, Utah State will give away tickets coming up. He's facing one of the premier forwards in the country, like himself. Great Asabor is averaging 19 and 10, and Jaden is averaging 20 and 8. So that's an amazing matchup inside Saturday at Viejas Arena. All right, speaking of the Aztecs, Jeff Smith, he's joined us before. He's the president of the Mesa Foundation. They announced a partnership earlier today with Blender Sunglasses. Really unique partnership. A co-branded sunglass coming out this March, benefiting the Mesa Foundation, which benefits San Diego State's men's basketball players. So Jeff Smith will join us on the other side. We'll give away Train and Oreo Speedwagon tickets later this hour. Aztec tickets in the 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, Jeff Smith is the president of the Mesa Foundation Collective, benefiting men's and women's basketball players at San Diego State. They announced a really cool partnership earlier today with Blenders. Jeff Smith joins us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Padres, they made a move today. They signed left-handed reliever from the Yankees last year, Wandy Peralta, to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal with an opt-out every single year of the deal. Moving over to the Aztecs last night, they lost to Colorado State on the road, 79-71. Next up, they take on Utah State this Saturday, 12:30 p.m. tip-off time at Viejas Arena. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE.
San Diego State basketball tickets to give away for Saturday. This showdown in the Mountain West, Aztecs and Utah State Aggies, Saturday at 12:30. Be listening for a chance to win a pair of tickets to that game. Jeff Smith, kind enough to join us once again on Jon Jim. He's done an amazing job with the Mesa Foundation Collective. This is benefiting San Diego State men's and women's basketball student athletes. They announced a really cool partnership today. They've had a number of them throughout the course of the last year or so. Today, Mesa Foundation and Blenders Eyewear partnering on Blenders' 12th year anniversary collection. It's called the 12. The first ever Blenders glasses were actually named the Show for the owner of Blenders, Chase Fisher, and that's going back a decade plus. BC's an SDSU alum. So, Jeff, tell us about this partnership and the significance for the Mesa Foundation, and thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks again. Appreciate being on with you once again. It is really significant. I think, it speaks to the level of support that we are starting to get in the community. And for us, in this second year of working on Mesa, connecting with people like Chase Fisher at Blenders, it's a dream come true for us. We couldn't ask for a more recognizable name right now in San Diego. I mean, Chase and Blenders got so much attention, rightfully so, with their product, with the shades that they partnered with Colorado and Prime, and everybody saw that. But what I don't think people really knew, other than folks that were living in San Diego, was that Chase is an Aztec. He's an alumni. And, in speaking to him, a lot of things that he's doing are certainly for the betterment of his company, no doubt. And this will be too. The 12 are cool. You saw them today. They are super cool. And the folks here in San Diego are going to gobble them up. But this is one of those really, really cool full circle moments for him. An Aztec owned business, somebody who's, kind of recognized this opportunity to be a part of something that's very much a part of his history, and an impact a program that's as much as part of San Diego as anything else out here with the Aztec basketball men's and women's basketball team.
Yeah, it's just a perfect pairing when you think about it. San Diego-based company. The glasses are really cool, like you said. And it's not just those glasses. There's other glasses as well. But these ones specifically are the ones that I think people are going to be really excited for when they see them. You talked about Dion there and the success at Colorado with the Blenders. And I mean, it went to a national stage where, you had The Rock wearing Blender shades on College Game Day. And it just, he talked about it locally about how it just blew up. How much success from Colorado plays and helped with this happening with San Diego State?
But I think there's no doubt that the awareness of Blenders and the awareness and the connection between Blenders and college athletics was created through that whole relationship that Chase was successful with Prime. I think us walking into a position like the one that we have now, where folks who maybe wouldn't have known about Blenders are all certainly aware of it. The number of followers that they have on social media, the number of glasses that they have sold as a result of that exposure has lifted them into a whole different stratosphere of familiarity beyond San Diego. But for us, piggybacking on that is amazing. But I think that that local connection, we may have gone and chased something like this anyway, but all of the businesses that we partner with, whether it's Blenders and Chip and his connection, or Woodstocks or Novo, or any of the local businesses that when people hear them, they think San Diego. Blenders is absolutely at the top of that list of, these kind of fabric of San Diego, identity of San Diego businesses.
Jeff Smith is the president of the Mesa Foundation, again, benefiting San Diego State men's and women's basketball players. He's with us right now. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jeff, for our listeners, I don't know if you have the details as of yet or not. Again, this is centered around Blender's 12th anniversary. I want to say it's coming out later this winter or early spring in that March timeframe. Did you have any additional details in terms of how Aztec fans can get a hold of these and ways that they can support this initiative and find out more about this product?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I know is it's a limited release that they are coming out March 1st. Okay. I think the 12 is a play on the 12-year anniversary starting Blenders for Chase, and I think she actually started it on March 12th. So it's really significant, and obviously, I think one of the marketing lines that Blenders is using is they're calling it March Radness.
I like that.
They're going to start March 1st, and hopefully that'll be paralleling a long and extended visit and participation by both men and women in March Madness this year. But first, they're going to, there'll be an opportunity with the student athletes at the Pacific Beach location on one of their off weeks, the very few of those that they have, for fans to come and meet them and see the product and buy the product. And I have no doubt that the success that was seen through Blenders and the relationships they had with Colorado and Prime is something that we'll see here. And I think it's just the beginning of many of these, not just with Blenders, but with other businesses, when they recognize that you've got people that have connected with Mesa in order to help NIL and men's and women's basketball at San Diego State. The room starts to get a bit more justified with those kinds of partnerships. And again, Chase is way up there. Saquon's been a partner of ours. Woodstocks, we've got a really, really amazing thing that we're rolling out with Woodstocks, and the response. I've heard you talk about this already, both you guys, with Nova, a Brazil brewery, and Nova Kombucha with the Aztec kombucha. There are going to be a variety of ways that San Diego can come together and take advantage of this community and help Aztec men's and women's basketball along the way.
The glasses have been put, on social media. I saw Jon posting some pictures of them, but for people that have not seen them or don't have social media and wondering, what these glasses look like and the design of the glasses here, Jeff, could you just explain like the special details of these glasses and how the design process, went for you guys to get to where you are now?
Well, I will tell you what I saw, and I will also tell you that understandably we left the direction of creating and developing the 12 and the glasses specifically within this group that's being dropped as part of the 12 that are benefiting Mesa and Aztec basketball student athletes. We left that to the experts. They are creative. They're primarily black. They have a hint of red, and they are Aztec glasses. I mean, they're subtle, but they are colors, and they are certainly going to be identified with what they're intending to be identified, which is something in the spirit of San Diego State basketball. And folks that are fans of Blenders glasses and that live here in San Diego and support our basketball teams are going to gobble them up. And again, it's a limited release. I believe that, their expectations that as soon as these things hit, that folks are going to rush to them. Aztec fans are going to rush to them, and they're not going to be around for very long. So anyone who's following Blenders, Mesa will certainly help promote it. Keep an eye out on all those social media sites that you can follow that on, and you'll hear about it, and you're not going to want to miss out. We're going to do our part, and we've got, again, some exciting stuff to announced coming up here with Woodstock's Pizza and their LFG SDSU pizza that's out now and benefiting the same thing, benefiting Mesa and the Aztec student athletes. And, wear shades, drink a kombucha, and go eat some delicious pizza.
What could be better than that? Seriously. Jeff, before you go, again, we're talking about the Mesa Foundation, its impact on San Diego State men's and women's basketball student athletes. For our listeners, what impact is this having for the student athletes, for these basketball players, men and women? What role is the Mesa Foundation playing, and how critical is the support of Aztec fans, listeners, San Diegans in this role?
That's a really important question, and the answer to that is NIL is as much a part of the success of today's college athletics as almost anything else. And you guys are close to it. You understand it. It's new for all of us. Mesa is the first official NIL partner of San Diego State. We are focused only on the men's and women's basketball program, and we're doing everything we can to create a complementary NIL platform that speaks to what San Diego State basketball has always been. It's about community. It isn't about one individual player. It's about the team. It's about getting after it on both ends of the floor. And we are making this as much about the team as we possibly can. We won't do anything to take a detour from the Aztec, the fabric of Aztec basketball. And again, you guys are around it. You understand it. Folks that follow college athletics understand NIL on some level. But, I'm here to tell you that if we don't step up, and that we is community, that we is Aztec supporters, those are fans, those are people that eat pizza now, those are people that buy sunglasses, those are people that can become members of the Mesa Foundation and be a part of some of these really, really cool events that we host. We got a bowling event with the players and the coaches coming up. We've got a practice event. We had that U Club event that both you guys are at. We are trying to connect the community as much as possible with Aztec basketball, because if we don't answer this requirement, basketball and the success and the trajectory of the thing that we love so much is absolutely going to change.
Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, really doing incredible work for student athletes at San Diego State, men's and women's basketball players. If you're looking for more information, ways to support, pretty simple, Mesa Foundation, SD.org. Mesa Foundation, SD.org. Congratulations on this announcement today with Blenders. We're excited for the next, who knows how long, of this upcoming basketball season into March. And thank you for doing it, Jeff. We'll do it again soon, all right?
Okay, guys. Thanks.
All right, Jeff Smith, again, with the Mesa Foundation. All right, here's what we need you to do. We need you to call 877-767-4760 if you want a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon September 10th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. This concert was just announced this week. This is 2 free tickets to see Train with REO Speedwagon. The number to call is 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants. Again, 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants. Great giveaway. Train, REO Speedwagon, September 10th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Call right now if you want those tickets. 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, coming up at the 5 o'clock hour, we are giving away San Diego State, Utah State basketball tickets for Saturday at Viejas Arena. Up next, Trainwreck Radio. All right, Aztec tickets for Saturday, 12:30, Utah State, San Diego State. My buddy Jason Benetti on the call, Fox Television. My buddy Ted Leitner on the call, San Diego Sports 760. I have a lot of
You just have
buddies.
so many buddies.
My nemesis Jim won't be there.
Okay.
I don't think.
No.
My wife's going to be there.
You know why I won't be there?
Because you never go.
Good talk.
No, not that.
Because you're buying a dress or something for the wedding.
Not buying a dress. No.
Okay, you're buying flowers.
No. Aaron has plans for me this weekend.
A fifth vacuum.
What do you mean Aaron has a fifth vac? What do you mean Aaron has plans for you? Maybe you should have plans for Aaron.
Like Aaron has plans for both of us this weekend.
Which are
Birthday stuff.
whose birthday?
Mine birthday.
When's your birthday?
Monday.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What I'm
That's
talking
not
about?
accurate because you've been 34 for like a decade.
I
So I
know.
don't think you have a birthday.
No,
Are you 34?
I'm 34.
You're 35 on Monday?
Yeah.
Well, when were you going to tell us this?
I just did.
So let's see,
breaking
Monday.
news.
Probably on Monday when we come in and the
Hold on.
birthday board is updated in the hallway.
Monday. Are you sure this is right? Your birthday is February 5th?
Is the 5th on Monday?
Yeah.
Then that's my birthday.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I've known you for years. I don't remember your birthday being February.
I don't remember your birthday either.
It's June 8th.
Thanks.
So what does that mean in terms of plans?
Well, she set up this like Top Golf.
I don't think
thing.
there's Top Golf here.
No, it's an indoor thing downtown. Like you get like indoor golf simulator.
It's Top Golf like.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You're going to indoor Top Golf
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
for your birthday.
Well, one thing for my birthday.
What else is in this birthday palooza?
Dinner that night. Or no, not dinner. Oh,
Where's that?
what is it? It's
Dinner's usually at night.
I
yes.
think we're doing like
9
some
a.m.
type of food there because I think they have like restaurants around there, like a
Mhm.
restaurant the place this is at, a Marriott.
Yeah.
And then Sunday we're going to the Lafayette Hotel. You know what that is?
I don't know if I do.
Okay.
Where's that?
That's off El Cajon Boulevard. It's the famous Lafayette.
The famous. Well, you say Lafayette. I would say Lafayette.
Lafayette. Maybe Lafayette,
Okay.
whatever.
And then Monday.
Monday we're getting sushi.
Are you working on Monday?
Yeah, I'll be working.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was your birthday. This changes everything.
Should I take the day off like a lot of people do?
You already do.
That's true.
All right. We have San Diego
In my
State.
head, I do. Mentally, I take the day off.
We have Aztec tickets to give away in the 5 o'clock hour.
That's right down the block from my house. Should I come
Lafayette?
over and hang out? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
right
Oh,
next to
yeah.
the McDonald's there.
Yeah,
That's,
thanks
that's
for the
in my
invite.
neighborhood.
I'll be there too. We'll
Okay.
just show up.
Okay.
I'll bring
Sunday night.
peanut.
Perfect.
All right, let's play. Birthday.
I know it's weird, right?
I don't think it's right.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants. We have Tim and Daniel. Tim, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Let's go with John. Go Birds.
Okay, so Tim and
wow.
John.
You hear what he said?
He said go Birds.
Yeah, I know.
Which I think is basically
Go
him talking to
Eagles.
you.
Yeah, it is. All right, Daniel, you get me, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Daniel, are you a person or AI? Good.
Person?
Okay, good.
Perfect.
I didn't know if you were like a bot.
He's like questioning himself. He's like, I'm a person? All
Okay.
right, Brent, what's the question of the day?
They're going to make you pick out all the pictures with fire hydrants in them.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right.
All right, guys. Patrick Mahomes is now one of 8 quarterbacks that have started. He's going to be. They have started at least 4 Super Bowls in their career.
Wow.
God,
Today's question:
so
name
scared.
any of those other 7 quarterbacks that have started in at least 4 Super Bowls. So we're looking for the 7 quarterbacks that have started in at least 4 Super Bowls.
How many
in
has
their
Purdy
career.
started in?
Well, technically 0 so
Right.
far.
Spoilers.
Okay. All right,
But
sure.
he will
Or
have
is
at
it
least
4?
1. He's been in the league for 2 years.
Right.
Actually, 2 years.
Unless he gets hurt at practice. Sorry. All right. Who's up?
Oh, man. Daniel, you're up first. What's your first guess? And you do have a lifeline if you want to use it. It's pretty-
What would be a lifeline?
It would be help.
Yeah, I could give you help if you want help here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll take the help.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go with Tom Brady. Do you take that?
Yeah.
All right.
All
on the
right.
list.
AI Daniel says yes.
Okay. Tim, you're up next. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana,
Joe Montana.
on the list. All right, Daniel, this is where it gets tricky because this is
You don't have a
all-
lifeline.
You don't have a lifeline, so this is all up to you now. What's your second guess?
Terry Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw on the
Wow. I thought you said, okay. Jerry Bradshaw.
list. Terry Bradshaw.
Whatever.
Tim, back to you. What's your second guess? You still have your lifeline if you want to use it.
Bart Starr.
Bart Starr.
Bart
going to old school
Starr.
here.
No.
Leaving the door for Daniel to walk it off here with the correct answer. Doesn't have his lifeline. So, Daniel, it's all up to you. What do you got?
John Elway?
John Elway.
John Elway. Wow. 4 games for Elway. Won the last 2. I guess he lost 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember winning a third. 2 wins, 2 losses for
Because he
Elway.
went back to back. Because remember he beat
I
Green
remember.
Bay and then he won the
Atlanta.
fifth.
I would
yeah,
said Jim Kelly
you would have been correct.
because they lost 4 straight.
Mhm.
After that, I'm done. Kelly, Montana, Brady. Who else do we say?
Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, Bradshaw. Do we say one other in there or no? Who else? Brent?
There's a pretty big name.
Pretty big
I know.
name.
I'm thinking here. It's not Aikman because he only had 3.
It's not Aikman. You're
It's
right.
not. Is it?
It's not like one of the Mannings or Brett Favre.
It's
Brett Favre.
No,
It's Peyton Manning. Oh, it's right.
It's
It is Peyton Manning.
He played
yeah.
in 4?
Yeah.
2 and 2.
Well, because he did one with the
Yeah.
Colts.
Yeah.
And then
No,
did
he-
he do 2 with the Colts?
It had
'Cause
to be
beat
2.
because he beat the Saints and he beat the Bears. So he did
No, he
2.
lost to the Saints, beat the Bears.
Oh well, either way, he didn't have to win, but he started, and so
Right.
yeah.
and
there
then
it
he
is.
got
The
his
2 with that one.
ass kicked versus the Seahawks,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
won versus the Panthers.
Who else is on this list then?
Yeah, it's Brady, Elway, Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Bradshaw, and then Roger Staubach is the one that we don't.
yeah, it's a big
have.
name.
Are those good quarterbacks?
Very big name. Yeah, they're very good.
Okay.
All right, congratulations to AI Daniel. You have won a pair of tickets to see Terrain and REO Speedwagon September 10th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. The show was just announced, by the way, this week. Tickets are available at livenation.com. livenation.com. On the other side, more on the Padres' potential match with Tommy Pham, Kevin Acee, on the midday show earlier today. If you missed that, Kevin Acee on the prospects of Tommy Pham coming back to San Diego. Plus, next hour, 5 p.m. hour, we're giving away San Diego State basketball tickets for Saturday. Be listening for that. San Diego State and Utah State, Hour 3. Jon and Jim next.
This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Aztecs last night lost to Colorado State in Fort Collins, 79-71. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Utah State in a big home game on Saturday afternoon, 12:30 tip-off time there. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres made a move today, signing veteran left-hand reliever from the Yankees last year, Wandy Peralta, to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal with an opt-out every single year of the deal. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all electric. Feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? We will give away Aztec tickets for Saturday at Viejas Arena, the biggest game of the year for San Diego State to this point. We'll give them away between now and 5:23 Pacific Standard Time. So in the next 20 minutes, we'll give away San Diego State, Utah State tickets between now and 5:23. It may come at 5:13. But between now and 5:23.
I was just laughing that you had to specify specific standard time. Like we're going to give away Eastern Standard Time.
Good point. By the way,
we're giving away at 8 Eastern.
We've buried leads, Jim. We've buried leads.
We're getting ready for the Padres. We're on Korea time now.
We have
soon.
To start speaking of the Padres and getting to Korea Truck Day, the truck's on its way.
Oh, we forgot.
Not to Korea.
That's the lead we buried.
On its way to Peoria. It's taken the 400 miles. Remember we told you yesterday in the release, they have a lot of baseballs in the truck. Makes sense. They're going to play baseball.
That's good. They don't have like footballs or basketballs.
Right. They have bats. They have batting helmets. They have Wandy Peralta. I don't think he's in the truck, but they have him.
They stuffed him in the truck.
They don't have Tommy Pham as of yet.
They don't have Tommy Pham, no.
But it is truck day.
Wow.
And the truck is on its way, beating the rain, on its way to Peoria, because pitchers and catchers report, what's today, Wednesday? 10 days from now.
10 days or 11 days?
Good point. 11. Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
So they'll have the baseballs. They'll have the batting helmet. If you were worried, we're like, how are they going to complete their 40-man roster? Well, we know they're going to have baseballs and batting helmets.
Right. And gloves and cleats and
all
pants
those things.
And, jerseys.
Everything. The new hat.
The
yellow hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Batting gloves. Is that this year's mission statement? We got balls, bats, and gloves.
We just don't have flares.
Yeah.
By the way, the other lead Jim made us aware of like 15 minutes ago, and it's literally shocking, is that his birthday is Monday. Nobody's been prepared for this. He didn't let anyone know. We're inside of a week. Now, you are a guy, and like I would never tell you my birthday in a million years until it ends up on that screen
right
here at iHeart, and that's how you find out who has a birthday. But your birthday is Monday. You're going to be 35.
I know. I'm getting old. Not really.
Not really. I mean, 35. Do you have something you'd like to accomplish in age 35, like get married or something?
Well, I'm getting married.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So that's
the big thing.
That's the big accomplishment. Yeah.
Do you have we talked about this? Do you have honeymoon plans?
It's a great question, John.
I'd be asking you.
As of right now, we don't have any official honeymoon plans.
They're going to the Lafayette.
What do you mean official, by the way? I mean, who should I run it by? I mean, you could tell us unofficially.
Well, we don't have anything
John,
planned.
You should know you're married. Jim is going to no longer be in charge of anything
Aaron's
here in a few months. So, yeah.
No, what are options?
Well, this is what we're doing because in August, surprise, I'll be in Italy.
Are you doing the show? Are you bringing equipment?
No. I'll be in Italy because one of her best friends is getting married and they decided to have their wedding at Lake Como.
Yeah, it must be nice. In Italy, how long are you going to be there? A week?
Isn't that where Clooney lives?
Yes, Brent.
So you and Clooney. Is this a week-long stay or is this like a 2-week stay?
Is Clooney invited?
He might be invited.
How long are you gone?
I don't know yet. I haven't booked tickets yet, dude. It's a lot. So
of money.
I know.
Okay.
After we get married.
But that's not your honeymoon.
No. It's not our honeymoon. We're going for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also we're going to Italy. So I mean, that's
it's not cheap.
It's not cheap or anything.
That's a lot of time.
So we're pushing off our quote official honeymoon till next year.
Oh, it's 2025.
Yeah. So
we could do Peoria. You could do like spring training.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll love
like
that. Hey, you want to watch a little Manny Machado's BP? Yeah.
Hey, look, the truck made it.
The truck's here.
Look at all those bats.
Look at all those baseballs.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
It's not even. It's incredible.
It's like, what are we doing here? Yeah, we're probably gonna go to Hawaii. That's like next year. So
okay, Hawaii 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Okay, we started the show talking about what Kevin Acee told Jack Cronin, Marty Caswell, Jonathan Rifkin earlier today. Remember, Darren is out. He's back Monday. And there's so much going on at San Diego Sports 760 and just with the sports team. John Quintera, coach, you may know him.
Yeah.
He will be filling in for Darren each of the next 2 days from noon to 3 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Are we fusioning with Coach Thursday and Friday?
Hell yeah, we're fusioning with Coach.
What do you think we're going to talk about? Padres?
Some baseball. I got my coach ready.
This is like a reunion for you two.
Ball player. I know. We worked together. What was it? In 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then Darren called. And then I came over here. Mike, say coach. And I came over here.
Okay.
But we did a lot of like Padres pregame stuff together, like when I first started over there in 2017.
Oh, like you were kind of like producing, engineering.
Yeah, because he was doing some pre-games and post-games and then the morning show. And I've known Coach for a while. Like basically if you work in radio in San Diego, like Coach, except for you and Brett.
No, I know him very well. Seriously.
I know him from the press box.
What I mean, I was just gonna say.
What I meant is work with Coach.
I've never worked with him until tomorrow, but he could not be a nicer guy.
Yeah.
Literally, I've seen him in parking lots, Snapdragon Stadium, Petco. He's always talking to me about Aztecs, Padres, San Diego.
Right.
So I'm excited to have him the next couple of days.
Yeah. So
is it a Jon and Jim Wally Pip situation? Stay tuned.
Wally Pip for us?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Well, maybe just for one of you.
True.
Because it would work. It'd be like Jon and Jon or
literally
Jon and Jim, and it'd be probably fine. The name of the show doesn't have to change at all.
Anyway, Kevin Acee with the midday show today with Darren out. He was on because Wandy Peralta has signed reliever, right? Left-handed reliever. But the most fascinating part of this conversation doesn't have to do with Wandy Peralta. It has to do with Tommy Pham. Listen to this.
I think Tommy Pham makes a lot of sense. It's just what is his, playoffs helped him. But there's, Tommy's lot in life is basically to wait till spring training and sign the 1 year or 2 year deal. And, he generally gets more than what the Padres probably are willing to pay for an outfielder. And so maybe not. I know that Tommy would love to come back. I know that AJ Preller loves him. He really does. I know the guys in the clubhouse really like him. I think Tommy Pham is someone that perennially, actually, for the last couple of years, the Padres have kept an eye on Tommy Pham's market, and that they are now. It's not going to be. Look, I think there's a fairly good chance Jose Azocar is playing the outfield fairly regularly.
So is that him kind of though, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, hey, Pham's a possibility, but in actuality, it's going to be Jose Azocar. Is that what he was kind of saying, or is he saying Jose Azocar is part of the equation, regardless of whether?
Well, see, here's the thing, John. In the outfield, there's usually 3 positions. So
which ones? You help me out here.
Okay, so left field, which usually plays like the left side,
center, if you're looking,
left side. Center field,
which is like a middle guy.
Yeah, and then the right fielder.
What about the person in between, like the short fielder?
Like the shortstop and the second baseman.
Oh yeah, those guys.
And the first baseman and the third baseman.
Dude, I'm saying that if you added Pham, that doesn't mean Azocar starts 2, because they could make another move, or Jacob Marcy could be your starting.
I think what he said there is if they went and signed Tommy Pham, you're probably looking at an outfield of Pham, Azocar, and Tatis. Or I don't know. I literally don't know. And this is the biggest question remaining for this team. You can talk me into the pitchers they have currently in this organization as guys that they believe in and be on this roster this upcoming season. You can talk me into it, and maybe I could see it, and maybe it works out. But you can't talk to you. There's nobody on this roster currently, literally, because they have 2 designated outfielders on the 40-man, and really nobody in their system that I view as a guy that is ready to be a starter in left field and center field at the major league level.
But do they have a card up their sleeve? The card being,
I hope so.
The card being
a trade.
Well, there's that. There's Jurickson Profar, Tommy Pham. There's someone in their system with Jacob Marcy. There is, hey, we have infielders that have played outfield before in their career, and we've entertained it before with some of these players. Is it going to be a creative? Are they going to get creative to round out their outfield?
Probably. You better.
Well, it's either get creative or spend money on Tommy Pham. Is basically the way that I would look at it.
Would Tommy Pham excite me to a level of like, oh, this is great? I think he would be a good option, definitely. The money would be the biggest question, and that's the first thing I would look at if they sign Tommy Pham. But I think if they sign Tommy Pham, give me a better option
Tommy Pham?
Than Tommy Pham.
Jurickson Profar. And the reason I say that is because all things being equal, it's about money. If one is for $3 million and the other is for 10, and I told you there's not a big disparity between the two players, that's why you might lean elsewhere.
Yeah, and
it's got to match up. It takes two, right? You can. Listen. I'm sure AJ Preller likes Tommy Pham, but AJ Preller has an Excel spreadsheet that says how much money he has.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
Well, like, it's gonna have to be resolved with most likely a trade. Would you agree with that one?
Most likely. I mean, I think there's a distinct possibility it could solve
intent. And not saying internally that this year's we want to see some young guys, see what they got, transition / developmental year. Then you're going to have to trade some of your prospect capital to get a major league ready guy in here. And you're going to have, and AJ Preller is going to have to willing to give something up.
And are we cool with that? Because we've been critical when he trades off pieces that then don't allow him to develop this like core class together.
But we know he's not trading Ethan Salas and most likely Jackson Merrill and Drew Thorpe and Lesko.
It's a high level prospect.
We know he's not doing that unless it really made sense. But as of right now, I don't see something that would really warrant that. But still, you have pieces in your farm system that you can give up to get major league talent back. I mean, you can't like hoard everybody here.
Yeah. And they've done it time and time again. I don't think they're scared to do it. AJ Preller's done it routinely.
It's the trading of the top prospects that has been kind of like, hey, AJ, you might want to not do that anymore.
I'm trying to think in terms of, the Soto trade you had to, right? Because how else do you get Juan Soto? Outside of that, I feel like he's avoided it by and large. He's given up a top 10 here or there, Patino in a Tampa deal. That didn't really pan out for Tampa. Like he hasn't been just every deal, hey, let me go to the top of my farm. Soto, you had to do it.
Well, I look at guys like Cal Quantrill and Eric Lauer back in the day.
Yeah, those guys had already been to the big league, so you kind of knew what you had. I think they thought they knew what they had with those players.
Well, they didn't give them much time to develop.
They didn't, and Eric Lauer's been outspoken about that.
Yep. I think a little Cal Quantrill as well. Urias was a guy that I think was rushed up too quickly and didn't perform, and then he was traded away. Francisco Mejia, another guy. I'm just throwing out random names. Did they actually turn out to be anything wherever they went? Like, not really. No. Cal Quantrill had a couple nice years with Cleveland, but now I think he's in Colorado, which good luck there.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, Preller does a great job of building up these prospects and making these top 10 lists around baseball and promoting it on their social media platform when it's about the big league club guys actually, and making these guys around baseball hot commodities. And then
is it because of hype or is it because they're actually hot commodities? Is it because of the marketing and promotion and the way they sell it across the sport? The Yankees were always accused of that. This idea that, oh my gosh, our prospects are so much better than yours because we're in New York and you're hearing these names a lot. But were they actually better than the rest of baseball's prospects? So are the Padres positioning their prospects well, or does the Padres have good prospects?
I think both. I think these guys are good prospects, but I also think that you can't tell me that they don't do a
good job of
selling it. Like
the Salas.
They are definitely, and we heard Kevin talk with Jack and Marty today. One prospect that he's never heard more about in his entire time covering the Padres has been Ethan Salas. Yeah. Like we joked about it. Like, oh, he's the next coming of Johnny Bench. Like, I think the Padres actually view him as the next coming of like Johnny Bench / Buster Posey.
Yeah,
/ Ivan Rodriguez.
Which should be good. By the way, we'll give away Aztec tickets in 5 minutes. Be listening. We'll give away Aztec tickets in 5 minutes for Saturday. Be listening. We'll tell you when to call. Yeah, the Salas thing, they're not moving him, obviously. And have they? It's interesting because we said it last year. He was 16 when the season started. He turned 17. And then all of a sudden, he spent like a week in advanced day baseball, and they put him in Double-A. Why? Was that a marketing play, or was that for his development. We've talked about that. Like they're on a fine line of how they're moving these players throughout their system.
Why do you think Preller has been able to stay here for as long as he has without having
Rockstar
really much
GM,
success
hype,
in the big
because of the packaging, the marketing, right? Is that what you're saying, the hype?
of what?
I mean, I guess you're saying mostly, but the system has turned over what? Fernando Tatis Jr.?
I know.
Yeah, no, in San Diego, which is great.
But when you continue to have that, hey, just a couple more years. Look at these guys. Look at the rankings. They're top 10, number 8 in all of baseball. Ethan Salas is only 18 years old. There's a reason.
17.
Well, going to be 18. But yeah, I think it's a big reason why AJ Preller is still here.
Okay, so if it's a big reason why AJ Preller is still here, will it continue to be a big reason why? Is in if they don't win at the big league level and they continue to have 2 of the top 10 prospects in all of baseball, will that allow him to stay?
Well, we know that me and you, if the Padres don't win this year, they don't make the postseason. That's all the season is going towards. This is the division, whatever. We know that they're probably not going to win the division, probably not going to win 95 games. All that matters is getting into the postseason at any cost.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you're the 6th seed, winning 82 games, who cares? Just get in. If you don't accomplish that, me and you, we have said, like, that's it. It's over. It's done. You can't have 3 out of the last 4 years not making the postseason with the money that's allotted to this team and the resources that you put into it. Can't happen. Time for a change. But because of all these prospects, because of the quote unquote next wave, you think the Padres are going to make a move, or think AJ Preller is going to be gone because he has the next wave coming?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think we've talked about, but we haven't discussed a ton recently. Peter Seidler, as quoted as recently as this past summer in that lengthy article from Kevin Acee, was a huge advocate of
That
Preller.
is a big factor. Yes.
And obviously he's no longer, unfortunately, as owner because of his untimely passing. So does he have the same rope to work with?
That's a good question.
And the answer might be yes, or the answer could be unequivocally no, or somewhere in between. And until we hear from Eric Katsenda, and by the way, if you're a media member covering that press conference, it is a fair question to discuss, like, the status of AJ Preller moving forward, how important this year is for his future in the organization. I think that's reasonable. He's under contract beyond this year.
2026, yeah.
But then all of a sudden you look up at the end of the year, he's got 2 more years. That's not a crazy number.
I just also look at it as, one, we have to hear from Eric Katsenda and his thoughts on AJ Preller and this organization and the direction of the team. If you hear things like, we love AJ Preller, and yes, I understand things can change, but it's really a tough ask to have a guy stepping into the shoes of Peter Seidler to make some big time changes like that year one.
I agree with that.
So there's a rock in the hard place here.
True, but it's like staying the same as falling behind.
Well, they've done it before, and they're very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot wait to hear from Eric Katsenda. I'm more curious about that than if they signed Tommy Pham or trade for Alek Manoah. I just am. I think that's more intriguing. I think it's more interesting. It is such a blank canvas in terms of what Eric Katsenda will say and how he will or will not win over Padres fans with his messaging. He could be brilliant. He could be spectacular. It could be an absolute home run, or it could be the opposite, because we don't know. Literally, he could come out there, look like you. I'd be like, wait, what?
Like me?
Or, I mean, we just don't even know what he looks like.
I am Eric Katsenda, actually.
Maybe you are. All right. Who did the Padres sign today, reportedly? Is that deal official or not?
It's reportedly, but...
All right. 877-767-4760. Caller 7 with that name has 2 free tickets for San Diego State, Utah State. Who did the Padres reportedly sign today? 877-767-4760. Caller 7. You're going to San Diego State, Utah State, Saturday at Viejas Arena, 12:30 tip time. Lines are loaded. Call right now, 877-767-4760. We could break a moment early. On the other side, is the Mountain West a better basketball league than both the Pac-12 and the ACC? Plus the latest when it comes to the Padres, just a week and a half out from the start of spring training. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer. I've been telling you about my friends over at Windmill Farms throughout the course of really the last year. You're getting ready for the big game. You can do all of your grocery shopping at Windmill Farms, the college area's natural grocer. All of your game day and tailgating needs as you get ready for the big game. They've got it for you. The organic farm fresh produce and meats, the amazing beer selection, the craft beer selection. They've got the deli I've been telling you about during your work week. If you're looking for a quick, easy, affordable lunch, look no further than Windmill Farms. With a sandwich card, your 8th sandwich is free. They have high-quality ingredients, fresh ingredients, and low prices. Located right in the college area, off Del Cerro Boulevard, across the freeway from Montezuma Mesa. They are family-owned. Trevor and his family, they've been serving San Diegans for 20-plus years and supporting local businesses in our community like Harris Ranch, Mr. G Salsa, and others. Even if you don't live in the area, you can find Windmill Farms on Instacart and have your groceries delivered directly to your doorstep. It is so convenient. It is so easy. They also have weekly specials available. If you're looking to save, you can check them out on Instagram, also at windmillfarmsmarket.com. That is windmillfarmsmarket.com. Get ready for your weekend. Get ready for the big game by shopping local, by shopping at Windmill Farms.
This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Padres made a move today for left-handed reliever Wandy Peralta, pitched with the Yankees last year in the last 3 seasons, signed to a 4-year, $16.5 million deal with an opt-out every single year of the deal. And the Aztecs last night lost to Colorado State on the road, 79-71. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Utah State this Saturday at Viejas Arena, 12:30 tip-off in the afternoon. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. The utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz with hundreds of customizable comfort settings inside the cabin. It's the EV that recharges you. The vehicle is all-electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com today.
We have more tickets to give away this week. You have that information readily available?
I can look. I think tomorrow maybe.
Okay, so who is the winner? These were coveted. The lines were absolutely loaded.
Peter from San Diego.
Peter from San Diego.
Peter from San Diego.
He is going to see San Diego State, Utah State, Saturday at 12:30. Our pregame coverage begins at 11:30 on Jim's birthday weekend.
We will have tickets tomorrow too.
We have tickets to give away tomorrow. Thank you, Brian. So we'll give away more tickets. If you did not win today like Peter did, we will give away another pair of tickets for the Aztecs and the Aggies. Utah State is 19-2. San Diego State is 16-5. It's what I like to call a big game.
What are you getting me for my birthday?
Well, I just found out it's your birthday. Potentially nothing, but is there something you want?
Not really.
I mean, your registry is like, it's everything under the sun.
Look, all I want is the 49ers. Like, that's literally, if you give me that,
Maybe we'll get you like so when you go to
hey,
Yeah.
no, not like Peter Griffin. Italian accent.
yeah,
no,
it's the only town I know.
I can't guarantee you. Look, I'm not something small like that. It's just like there were tickets to the game. Upper deck. Just like maybe I get to it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Or maybe you wouldn't even go to the game, dude. If you had unlimited money, you're not going to the game.
I would honestly think about it just because when's the next time, one, they'll be in a Super Bowl, and two, be in a Super Bowl in the West Coast. Like usually, like when they went to 2019, it was all in Miami. Travel to Vegas is nothing. Like, not sure.
What did you tell me earlier today about money being wagered on this game? Is basically all on the Chiefs right?
So, as of right now, 78% of all bets on this game are on the Chiefs. That's a lot. Now, the reason why this line hasn't moved in favor of the Chiefs, I think it moved like a half a point and then moved back a half a point, is because of all the future bets that are on the Niners.
Gotcha. So earlier in the season, people betting on the Niners to win a Super Bowl,
Or before the postseason started, or before last week's games, or whatever the case may be, before the actual Super Bowl was set between the Chiefs and the Niners. That's why the Niners were favored in every single game. Like, we saw the matchup possibilities.
yeah, they were favored against Baltimore,
Right.
Kansas City,
And that was because of the
yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, this money's coming on the Chiefs. This is important. Again, it's shiny object. Patrick Mahomes is going to get more money, theoretically, straight up. Like the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl 28-27. Why not take you just won? You're putting money on a team that can lose the Super Bowl and you can push or still win.
Yeah, there's a lot of bets on the money line for the Chiefs
That makes a ton of sense.
as of right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, majority, and not by just a little, like a lot. Chiefs for this game. I mean, if I had a bunch of money and I wasn't a fan of the 49ers, I mean, how could you not bet against Patrick Mahomes? Like, why would you put anything against Patrick Mahomes?
Exactly. Adam Kilgore, Washington Post. He's like, I can't do it. Like I picked Lamar at home and I looked foolish. Like, he wins a lot of games. Now he's been beaten before. Tom Brady's gotten him a couple of times. He's been beaten before. But
he's facing Brock Purdy, and
yeah, he's won 2 Super Bowls already.
I mean, to envision Brock Purdy on the stage holding a Super Bowl trophy would make so many people
lose their minds,
lose their freaking minds.
It would actually be pretty spectacular.
Old Takes Exposed, the Twitter account,
yeah,
will have
go
a
crazy
field day Brock Purdy has. Would you agree that this season, if you're looking at the storylines from this season,
Yep,
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce,
that's big,
and the controversial takes on Brock Purdy. Would you say those two have been like the driving force in the NFL this year?
Yes, and Aaron Rodgers basically on television.
Okay, on the field stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Taylor's not.
Taylor's off the field.
I would say the three biggest stories are just Aaron Rodgers, like what he means to the NFL, his injury,
what he's done on set.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Pat McAfee show.
Taylor blows everything away.
Yes, it does.
And Purdy's been a big story. It's been a very big story. All the
talking points,
second guessing, and he's just like vilified. Ever since the loss at home to the Ravens, people are like, "Told you." Well, like he's been exposed for who he is.
Well, even before that, it was this guy's not an MVP,
right?
When in reality, you put those numbers with like any other player. Like if you put those numbers
like Patrick
Mahomes or Josh Allen, everyone's like, "Dude, look at his season. This guy's an MVP."
Everything changes, as it often does. I mean, everything changes a week from Sunday. If he wins it, it's going to be hard to deny that fact. If he loses it, he will be completely mischaracterized for like forever.
I do think, we talked about this. Even if the Niners won the Super Bowl and Brock Purdy's holding the Super Bowl trophy and he plays well, but say he doesn't win the MVP. But say Christian McCaffrey wins the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Or Debo or whoever, right? And it's not Brock Purdy. How there will be still questions about Brock Purdy.
Right. His pieces.
I don't know, man. If he wins the Super Bowl and he plays like well, like not like to a level of like 3 touchdowns, but like say he throws for like 282, just 255 with the touchdown, no turnovers. And Christian McCaffrey ends up having 2 touchdowns, 120 yards rushing, and he's the MVP, right? I don't know, man. You beat Mahomes and say Mahomes has a good game too. Dude, it would be one of, like you told me even before the Niners game, you were joking, but it ended up being true. You're like, dude, Mahomes versus Purdy is like the biggest gap in quarterback history in the Super Bowl.
That's going to be the perception.
And if he's holding the trophy.
Yeah, but I've also said that it doesn't, it's a huge like, whatever the word is, like gap between the two players. The perception between the two players is massive, but they're not playing each other.
I know.
It's like, can Brock Purdy under Kyle Shanahan's offense have more success against the Chiefs defense than Mahomes can against the Niners defense? I mean, it's all that matters. It's not, this isn't the NBA. We're not watching a one-on-one game between Kobe and LeBron. That's a completely different story, but people make it out to be like it's Mahomes against Purdy, where it's not. It's just not.
Well, I think after this past week, what he did in the second half of the championship game versus the Lions, I do
quieted some people.
I think it's made people go, oh, okay, it's pretty good, but there's still a lot of buts. He's got to do it in the Super Bowl versus the best quarterback in the league.
But the DB had to go off his face, man. There's always going to be detractors, man. That's how it is. There's detractors of Tom Brady. Is it Belichick? There's detractors of Mahomes. Well, he hasn't beaten Brady. Right. There's detractors. There's detractors of LeBron. There are.
It's just when you look at the record of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs since he's been a full-time starter in the league.
It's been pretty good.
It's been literally unbeatable.
Well, not literally because they've been beaten, but they win at the highest clip.
Almost unbeatable.
What's his all-time regular season, postseason record under Andy Reid as a starter? It's incredible.
What is it, 13-3 or 14-3?
No, I'm saying with regular season.
Oh.
It's ridiculous. What's the winning percentage?
Well, they've won a division title every single year. They've been in the AFC Championship every single year, and they've been down to 4 Super Bowls. They just don't lose.
They just don't lose. I mean, yeah, they just don't.
Even when you have a quote-unquote like a perceived down year, they don't lose.
Can we hear from John Rothstein?
Yes,
but
it's not the biggest quarterback mismatch ever.
Okay, yes, actually, we want to hear what is.
Peyton Manning versus Rex Grossman.
Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect example.
Yeah. An honorable mention to Patrick Mahomes versus Jim's favorite Jimmy Garoppolo.
Foles. Or even in Nick Foles when they won it. I mean, Foles Brady wasn't exactly equal footing with quarterbacks, was it?
Well, Mahomes. No. Well, Mahomes was what, 2 years in the league?
That's 2019.
Or two years as a starter.
Exact same player then.
He wasn't the like
today.
Aura of what he is now.
Yeah,
but still, he was better than Mahomes, or better than Jimmy by a lot.
All right, so John Rothstein covers college basketball. He literally probably won't watch the Super Bowl. Like this guy's, you think he'll
be tweeting about
with,
Florida
State
versus Florida State.
No, even like Wright State, whomever
during the Super Bowl, yeah,
in like the Horizon League. So last night on CBS Sports Network, after it might have been before San Diego State, Colorado State. I mean, he's been really high in the Mountain West. He's not the only one. John Rothstein had this to say about the state of the Mountain West.
And Colorado State was the team early in the season that picked up big wins, beat Creighton, beat Washington, beat Colorado. And if the Mountain West Conference tournament started today, Colorado State would be the 6th seed in the Mountain West tournament. That is what we're looking at right now. One of the best leagues in college basketball, better than the Pac-12, better than the ACC. And we're seeing also a truly special player at point guard in Isaiah Stevens. Now over his last 3 games, 25 assists, 4 turnovers. Roy, that's illegal in 48 states.
That's such John Rothstein. He's got like the same hubris as me. Okay, so I got into like a back and forth with some Mirando on Twitter today.
That's always
you probably
fun.
didn't even see it.
You always tell me not to do that, but you
I
do
did.
that?
I had to do it. This guy who like covers the ACC, he's like, this has to stop. NCAA tournament wins last 5 tournaments, and he like stacks up the leagues, and he has the Mountain West at the bottom, the power leagues, and then the Mountain West, and then like NCAA tournament winning percentage the last 5 tournaments, he's got the Mountain West at the bottom, and people are killing him because past performance doesn't indicate future results. And I wrote, for example, this guy loves the ACC. I said North Carolina didn't make the tournament last year. Is that an indicator for the fact that they're a top 5 caliber team right now? Should they not be eligible for this year's tournament because they didn't make the tournament last year? Like, just give the league its due. It's not stacked against you, Power 5. ACC's got all the advantages in the world. I've watched ACC teams, 10, 11 ACC teams in certain years have made the NCAA tournament. Just because you're having a down year or two doesn't mean, oh, the system is against the ACC. How about just credit the Mountain West for being good as opposed to disparage the Mountain West, Jim? Actually, the guy's name was Adam Lucas.
I'm sorry, Adam Lucas.
Yeah,
I really am.
Everyone's kind of going after him. He's like, the ACC wins more tournament games than the Mountain West. Yeah, well, they're a power league. They have Duke and Carolina in it. That's not exactly shocking. But just because the Mountain West has been good this year doesn't mean you have to like discredit it, Adam Lucas. Hopefully you're listening, Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
From like Durham or Chapel Hill. All right, do you have a back page?
Yeah, I just want to read some text here.
Okay, why don't you do that?
858 number. Super Bowl or not, guys, the fact remains that minimum 20 other QBs in the league would get the same results under center in San Francisco.
Okay.
Another 858 number, different number. Purdy is so inspirational. It's refreshing to see someone bad at their job rely on talent around them to carry them. He's just like me at work.
Okay.
And I responded.
Oh, you responded
to the 858 number, talking about 20 other QBs doing just as good or better than Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you couldn't be more wrong, buddy. You couldn't be more wrong. 20? 20.
You spelled 30 wrong, dude.
20? I mean, you 20?
It's not 20. It's not 20. Are there other examples of quarterbacks? Maybe. I'm sure there are.
Yeah. If you put Patrick Mahomes, I get Josh Allen.
Mahomes,
you put the top end talent.
Yeah.
Then duh, of course. But Zach Wilson, no. Every name off.
I like how you instantly started with the Zach Wilson.
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
he's worse than he's better than the worst quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, no, I see your point. Like, what if you go a step up from Wilson to like the next caliber that isn't elite, but is good? Where would that be? Would that be Tua? Or is Tua actually in the elite category?
No, Purdy's better than Tua.
That's what I'm saying. So could we say if Tua was in San Francisco's offense, they'd have similar results? Could we say Justin Herbert
potentially
in Kyle Shannon's offense? That's what I'm saying. Like, you're right. Zach Wilson, fair. But when you get to that cut above, Tua and Justin are in top 4
to 12. You think that we could put up similar results?
Maybe.
But that's also like
20 is probably stretch.
Yeah, 20. Come on.
20 is a lot. We'd have to look at the list of starters this year. I mean, you're getting pretty low.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20. All right, Jim's back page. We'll do that next. You're so mad. Oh, Jim just made an interesting point. You may have seen on social media, but whatever. Plus, Jim's back page next. What is it, Jim?
That man, if you're a Raiders fan, this Super Bowl sucks for you.
Right. It's in your stadium.
It's not only in your stadium, but it's against your two biggest rivals, like historically, Chiefs,
Division,
Niners from back in the Bay. And
yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, especially if you're Mark Davis and you're going to be at that game because it's your stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to like, I hope both these teams lose because one of them is going to be celebrating on your field.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ugh,
yeah, like the
sucks.
San Francisco 49ers celebrating on the home field of the Raiders.
Or the Kansas City Chiefs, preferably the Niners.
Yeah, I would say, what do you think is worse? I would say the Niners.
Honestly, I would say the Niners too.
The Niners.
I would say the Niners too. Yeah, because I think I would.
Yeah, like what are some other equivalents here? Like the Cowboys, like at the Star, if like the Eagles.
We talked about, I think in New York, they had another Super Bowl there, and it was like the Patriots,
Eagles
versus
or Cowboys.
Eagles or Cowboys, or like
terrible.
Buffalo versus the Cowboys or whatever.
That's a good example.
If they ever had a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, which they wouldn't.
No,
like
even
Cowboys.
New York was the one-off.
Yeah, they've never had a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, have they?
No.
Yeah,
even New York was one time, right?
Right, it was, and that was
after
9/11,
like 10 years later or something. I think
it was the blowout game between the Seahawks and the Broncos.
Oh, I remember it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other stadiums like New Orleans next year, but is there really like New Orleans? I mean,
yeah, that's an interesting point.
It's like, oh, cool, the Panthers just won on our field, but they're never going to win. So
yeah, exactly. Next year, the Panthers go with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
Maybe a turnaround. All right, Brent brought this to my attention, and it's a very worthy back page item here. McDonald's is bringing back a fan favorite for a limited time in Southern California. McDonald's is bringing back a beloved breakfast favorite for a limited time across Southern California, beginning on my birthday, February 5th. McDonald's locations across all Southern California will once again offer the bagel sandwich. The breakfast sandwich will be available in store, in drive-thru, and on the McDonald's app.
Can I ask what that would consist of?
Sausage,
what
egg,
would you think it would consist of?
cheese on a bagel, John.
When you hear bagel sandwich for breakfast, what do you think would be on it?
A breakfast bagel
For
sandwich.
some reason, I was picturing, those like pizza bagels?
Yeah, bagel bites.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, that's a pretty cool item. I mean, That makes sense. A breakfast sandwich. I didn't
that
realize
was
they'd
breakfast
taken
food
it off.
when I was in college, but not
Yeah.
now.
I didn't realize that was gone.
Well, here are the bagel breakfast items, John.
Mhm.
Let me explain it to you here.
Great.
Sausage, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich.
Okay.
The bacon, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich.
What about for the vegetarians?
The
do you
steak,
eat eggs?
I do.
Okay.
the steak, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich, and that's it. I'm sure you can ask for just like a
Egg and cheese.
egg and cheese
Yeah.
sandwich if you wanted.
Okay.
So it reminds me kind of like a pork roll, egg, and cheese, which I went and got back east for the first time last year, and it was like game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait, what's pork roll? They're like, you don't know what pork roll is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, doesn't Duncan have bagel sandwiches too? If I'm remembering right.
Potentially
So is this what you want for your birthday?
pork roll, egg, and cheese.
I mean, whatever McDonald's has. Probably not.
Are you
want
going to
that
be up
2
at
in the
11
afternoon?
a.m. on your birthday to go get a bagel sandwich?
Potentially.
Why? It ends at 11?
Well,
That's when
it's-
breakfast ends,
yeah.
buddy.
Why are we not doing breakfast all day?
They tried it a couple years ago, and apparently they weren't making money off of it because they quit.
Wow.
At least they extended it. It used to be at 10:30.
That's 11?
Yep.
Okay. What else you have?
Would you want to go to the Peeps themed hotel?
Let me answer that. Unequivocally, yes. That's Peeps is out-
absolutely.
Peeps is like Aaron, USA, right? It's like Eastern Pennsylvania or somewhere in New Jersey, I think. No?
Sure.
Does it say that?
Well, Peeps has announced that they will be kicking off the Easter season with a brand new suite experience. The Peeps team has partnered with Home 2 Suites by Hilton Easton to announce the Peeps
Easton.
Suite.
Yeah, it's Pennsylvania.
The suite will feature an Easter wonderful filled with playful Peeps decorations, whimsical furnishings, and an irresistible taste of the Peeps 2024 flavor lineup. The suite will also contain custom-made Peeps decor and a complimentary variety of famous marshmallow candies, including all the new flavors from the 2024 marshmallow lineup.
Can I say something about Peeps? I hate to be this guy if Peeps is listening, John Peeps, but they're kind of overrated. Are they not?
Bro.
Is that controversial?
It's not controversial, but
you kind of like
Peeps.
But Brent agrees.
I
with
don't
me.
like
You
Peeps.
agree, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is this thing? Colored marshmallow? I mean,
Yes, yes,
the-
it's sugar. It's a sugar blast.
The lady whose show I ran in Wisconsin before I left, she was obsessed
Obsessed with
with
them.
Peeps.
Oh yeah,
to
people are
where,
into them.
You know, like I remember last year we talked about it where Pepsi and Peeps came out
Oh,
with that
that's
Peeps
right.
favorite soda that we
Yeah.
could never find to try it. But like she would be all into that. Anything that's Peeps flavored, she would buy like a whole case of it.
Mhm. And finally, John,
A Tom Brady game used Super Bowl TD ball
$6 million.
has hit the auction, expected to fetch. It has not been sold yet, but it's expected to get you a whopping $1 million if you want it.
who did he throw this touchdown to? Antonio Brown?
Did he throw a touchdown to
I
Antonio
want to say it
Brown?
may have happened one time, right?
It's
Two
one of one.
footballs from the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl are going on for sale. One of them was caught by Rob Gronkowski, and the other was caught by Danny Amendola.
Wow. $1 million?
$1 million.
I'm good.
Can I have the one that was caught by the Patriot in the end zone?
Yeah, it's a little more probably.
Yeah.
All right, good job, Jim.
Thanks,
Maybe
John.
I'll get you Peeps
Thanks.
for your birthday. All right, if you missed anything today, you can go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. If you're listening to us on podcast, please leave a review as well. Find us on social media. Search for Jon and Jim. That's JONANDJIM. We're back tomorrow at 3. We have more Aztec tickets to give away for Saturday. We have the Brian Dutcher show tomorrow at 6 p.m. as well. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760. Okay.
Okay.